and I'm fucking on time. Oh, I should not do that. Well, doesn't matter. Anyway, welcome. For once actually on time. I'm mightily impressed how I pulled this off. Right. Okay. There's no point in, like, doing depressing birthday singing alone, because it would be depressing. Not that it's like that I could get a bunch of people by joining the VC. I mean, I'm going to join that anyway later for the driver's briefing, but let's leave that for later. We're going to just do it our usual. Do some driving. At the end of the day, a birthday is just another day. So, right. ACC. Start in Steam VR mode. And let's fucking go. What just happened? Why did you not capture... Like, it captured my... What just happened to my... It's still there, why are you no longer capturing it? Hello? Why are you no longer capturing it? Oh, come the fuck on, why? This window is still there, and it suddenly decided that upon launching AC, it didn't want to find my... This means I need to briefly fix this window capture. Because my overlay has suddenly decided to just go. Because that's something that it needs to do right now. Like, it captured my chat window immediately without asking a single question, but like... My second window? Hello, let me switch It's not letting me switch content. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Hello, let me switch content on it. Now switching content is possible. What the fuck are you doing? You're drunk. It's cutting like half of the fucking thing off. What are you doing? Why are you drunk? Oh, we are toolkit. Like half of the thing you just got cut off. What is going on here? And there's a basic cropping tool now, but opening the cropping tool and closing it finished the job now. Because I have a pretty complicated crop that I'm doing on the chat window. Just to stop having like window things also rendered in, but like, well, that isn't needed anymore technically. Although it's still set up on those. I don't know why. This is now the second time in a couple of days that I have had a disconnect on my OBS for a brief second. And I don't know what it is. Like, I've wired myself now directly. I've bought a network switch, finally, and have now wired my server and my PC into the repeater that I use to access the Wi-Fi. Instead of, I mean, I stopped using the Wi-Fi for racing anyway because it's been failing me since early December, so I stopped doing that because that just didn't work anymore. Because it was just completely and utterly unusable. Right. And just kept failing me, but now I have 2 times in 2 days wait a second, wasn't the other stream prior to me switching to hardwire? I don't know, I'm not quite sure. Am I actually on the correct scene? No, I'm not on the correct scene. ACC. Why haven't you transitioned to the ACC scene? I think it's because I still haven't updated my sim hub. Right, Cat Irvin again on the front. It's like, he's quick. Starting to become the norm that he's in the front. Jeffrey Prey and Sanchez also in the front there. He's in the new Aston. Bray is in the M4. Sanchez in the 720. There's more 720s here. Yeah, and they're lapping 25.1, so... Land temperatures are pretty low, but the track is only fast. That's not great. Because that means my pace is probably gonna be quite particularly low. Okay, so... I've had to open up the brake ducts quite a bit for... running in pretty hot conditions, but well, we're now in cold conditions, so need to adjust. Just this, and adjust this. Okay, let's hope these values are like halfway in the correct ballpark. Just listen to this thing. This car, man, this car. Although the main part of the sound is just the V12. Like, hearing the V12 from like 4 corners away. This thing sounds just frankly amazing for pretty obvious reasons. I mean, I'm a fan of whining engines at times, although I can appreciate every type of engine. I mean, I like my Porsches, flat sixes, I like my rumbling V8s. Honestly, not particularly the biggest fan actually of the Audi V12s, personally. And of some of the turbocharged V8s that just lose all their sound. That's a bit deep. Oh no! Ah! Got invalidated there. Oof! And the McLaren overtakes me. Sorry! The issue this car has is the bottoming out. Like, it bottoms out everywhere, despite that I have reduced the suspension travel. And I don't particularly want to increase the ride height. And it isn't like it's riding on like soft suspension or anything. Yeah, but with this circuit, just getting around the circuit relatively consistently matters. Although you can't pass, so it's not like you're going to risk getting past. But the bigger risk is that you just die. With its old school grass nature, if you start pushing the limits on the circuits, you will very quickly find a wall here. Oh, a bit deep here. Ah. But yeah, I've guessed that I would be down on pace because the track isn't as rubbered in as it could be. We are sitting now on the 27s. I did turn a couple laps and actually make this setup here, which, I mean, couple laps means about like 10 or so. I think a bit more perhaps even, because I tested briefly the car and saw if it could handle if I want to drive this for a circuit, or if I want to like pick an Audi. But yeah, I decided then after briefly driving this car that I would like to drive this. It isn't an absolute catastrophe. It's not great. And it's not a 650S, so. Because that thing just drives like shit. Yeah, but just half a second gotten out of the lap. There's just really not much on the circuit where you can like gain time. Or sort of like going complete crazy gambling. I think I just slightly snatched the brakes there. Happens to it. Clean this exit out of that corner. Oh, come on, plant. Hello, good night. Hello there. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, 27 on the voice chat, 32 on track. Yeah, we know. Do you want us to be in... Are you gonna do the driver briefing at 15? We have said yes, then I'm going to join in a minute. I think everybody has returned to the pits, let's just come on. Need all races in voice chat now. Okay, good. Give me a sec, I need to grab the VC.
Oh, who's just leaving now? It's like we're not even listening when I say shit.
But Daddy, I went poopy in my pants.
Most likely the ones that don't have voice chat on it at the moment.
Probably. I don't know, one of them is... No? I won't make that call, that's rude. Hey Gustavo.
We got him.
Attaboy, attaboy, attaboy. Emilio!
Let me practice a pit stop.
You should have been practicing pit stops before now. Alright, who else we got over here?
That entrance.
Alright, Mr.
Hey!
Beloenza. We're almost done here. I literally want everybody in here.
Oh, you were going into the pits? I just,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I just,
All good.
went to the...
All good. All good.
Alright, I'm there.
Cool. Cool.
So we have only
Alright, guys.
2.
Only 2. At least I know folks who aren't listening. That's super awesome. Alright, so let me make this brief so I can give you guys a couple laps before you go out. So, this is the last race before League starts. And most of you know who I am, so we don't need to do introductions. But I just want to remind everybody that these races are supposed to be fun. And there are people in the cars you are racing with. I have been observing some of the off-season races and some of the fun races over the last few weeks. And some of the driving behavior I've seen is not okay. Not like the bumps, like you guys know me, right? Not like the bump racing, not like the slight missed brakes, not like the running into turn 1 and not checking. I'm talking like revenge dives. I'm talking like slamming people off the track. I'm talking cutting the track. Okay? This should be fun. And I'm genuinely disappointed when I have to do this with people because we shouldn't have to. We're all adults, right? So if we can, Brands is a super tight track today, okay? No one's going to be passing pretty much on the first lap. If we can give each other some space and behave behave ourselves, I'd really, really appreciate it. Those who aren't paying attention because they're continuing to drive are grabbing additional attention tonight. And there's a debrief happening afterwards, so I will be going through some stuff. I don't want to be the bad guy because I want to have fun, just like everybody else having fun. But like yesterday was my birthday, and I had to do a bunch of administrative stuff and like ban some people and do some stuff on my birthday, which is not fun, right? So can we have like a Boy Scouts promise to kind of at least try to behave ourselves tonight and just have a good time?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. All right. All right. That's all I ask. You guys know the rules. Don't hit shit. Have fun. Driver's meeting over.
And happy birthday, dude. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Wait, today isn't today like Lukas'
Fat lady
birthday?
lap dances for Devin. Yay.
You know what? You know what? I'll take it. I'll fucking take it, man.
Wait, Lucas, isn't today your birthday?
Yes,
Happy birthday!
Lukas.
Nice.
Good.
Happy birthday! Oh wait, I'm not Frosty.
Clearly the best month. Clearly.
Yeah.
Lucas and I know what's up.
I call bullshit.
Chat January.
No. All right, go have fun. You guys have 10 minutes to run around some more. Go run around some more. Let's not
Okay.
do serious shit.
Damn it.
Yo,
I'm just laughing about the driving on the track.
I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, I couldn't script that more if I tried.
I noticed.
So. Let's continue some driving here. He got banned. It's pretty obvious what happened for that one. Oh, I didn't check what tire pressures I actually got out of the car when driving. My tire pressure on the rear were slightly higher pressured, but the fronts were actually okay. Well then, let's just reduce the tire pressure slightly. Maybe take like 1 click TC more. So I'm not like constantly oversteering out of every corner. Isn't that also an old Porsche over there? I think that's an old Porsche that's also running in this race. That's interesting. Let's pass this Audi. I'm not sure if I don't think the old Porsche is available on the rookies, because the rookies have now not just for the next season the old Ferrari and the old MUQU like they did last season, but also the I think the old BMW, which is a really great pick for an experienced driver to practice in, and the old, was it the old Audi I think as well, which I think is probably a better pick most likely than the Ferrari, because it's just an understeer machine. Although the Audi will have some weird driving characteristics that make it oversteer at times. Like I've driven the Lambo once. I've test driven the Audi, but then driven also the Lambo like in an actual event. And besides me having closed the brake ducts up much up that I cooked the brake discs in that race, I ended up. The car had also occasionally the same Audi oversteer behavior. Came back. Because I mean, the Audi and the Lambo are pretty identical cars. Yeah. I mean, that was obvious from when it happened yesterday that he would not stay long. It is unfortunately not the first time, and it's even more unfortunately not the first time recently. We've had a few. I think it's the second guy in like 2 weeks or something. The previous incident where we had somebody intentionally wreck was like before that 6 months or something. Somebody crashed, however that wasn't an actual league race, so that was even worse. And the thing is, that guy he wasn't racing the full season and then wrecked somebody who was on run for the championship out of the race. I consider that. That was bad. The thing is, the guy that did the wrecking, he had like not even a bad track record. That wasn't his first race with the community. He had run a... That stings personally for me. I wasn't driving the EU race, I was tuning it, and what stings personally is that guy that wrecked the other one. Well, he won the 3 hours of Nürburgring in front of me by 10 seconds. That race where I went a lap down. it came back with the rain. Yeah, that stings if you lose to shitheads like that. Like, I was able to accept that I would lose that race. Track limits are quite forgiving on that corner, it seems. Somebody's driving a 650S. I don't know, do we need to admit him to the hospital or something? Oh god.
Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
It's W-Chun. I think W-Chun is also someone who picks regularly like absolutely stupid cars. So that's completely normal for him. I hope he's enjoying his time around Brands a bit more than I enjoyed my time around Alton Park. When you snap oversteer right next to the edge of the road, it's a bit scary. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't drive bad.
Clear on the right.
He's just slow. Although I would describe the handling characteristics a bit closer to the ST around the circuit, but it's not too surprising. The circuit isn't like too easy. I mean, I put the TC up, so there's a reason this thing is not quite handling where it's supposed to, but like I can definitely lean on the car. It's just it's a bit happy on the corner exits.
Slow car ahead. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
I mean, this shows me that the 650S seems to be a bit slower than me. Which slower car? I think we will probably be like top 15. It's like it's best. I think top 15 between P10, P15 and qualifying. I think. In a good session. In a bad session we might not make it into the top 20. Well, I think we can make it top 20 easy, but like top 15 will be a bit difficult. I think the track has now gone to optimum. Seems to be a lot more rubber down.
Yellow flag, be careful there. Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Bit of a problem I'm discovering is that reading the chat is a bit difficult with how twisted the circuit is. Although with the what I talked about with qualifying, I think when it comes then actually to the race, we could have a top 10 here. If I keep it on the island. That's a big if, but I think that's totally doable. To actually salvage a top 10 out of that.
Yellow flag, be careful there. There's a slow car up ahead. Car on the left.
Oh,
Clear on the left.
sorry. I think the Merc wanted to practice a pit entry and but he ran so wide that
Session is now.
I cut his across him. That's unfortunate, I'm sorry. There's 40 people in the race. I mean, there's 50 sign-ups for this event. So it's not like it's gonna be surprising if we have like 40 people in the race. Although, nah, it's 34. We're 34 people on the server. Although there were 50 sign-ups, so that's not particularly a good turn-up. Okay. Oh, the temperatures have actually gone up now. The track is only fast, and we have 20 minutes actually to qualify. Incorrectly put it into the description. Right, okay, temperature have gone up. I think I'm going to open the brake ducts on the front a bit. And I think decrease the pressure here slightly. I need to actually look at my my average pressures over lap. I don't know where to go with the pressures really. Right. Let's drop the fuel out of the car because it weighs us otherwise down. Anything on the first tire set? No, not really. Anything wrong with that? No. Right, I wanted to read something. I know cost still worth it to it's investing time. I wouldn't say particularly. Besides this M6, I think the M6 is still worth somewhat investing time with. It's I think still a very solid and competitive car. The old cars are very track dependent at times, where they can like remotely be competitive. This track isn't a track for the V12 here. And obviously, whenever you have... Oh, sorry for fucking up your qualifying lap. When considering ever the cars that have straight up just Evo variants, like the MUQU, like the Ferrari, not as much because the 488 Evo is quite a significant change. Although both drive like dump trucks for me, so it's just like... there's not really a benefit either way. But yet, like the Evo NSX, the Evo, not McLaren, sorry, the Evo Audi, the Evo Lambo. Like, there's no particular reason to pick any of the older ones. Heck, in some cases you might not even have them available, or the, I don't know, the Evo GTR. But there's generally not a point in using the GTR either, because it's just not competitive enough. Some cars just aren't competitive enough. And investing time into something that's just works in like one track isn't particularly the greatest idea. So yeah, I mean, the cars that are like really good in the meta, and that's like what you would usually suggest to put the time. Some of the old cars have some horrible handling characteristics occasionally. Ooh. Like the old Porsche isn't particularly a good pick either, because the new Porsche just handles so much better. It's way more forgiving. You actually have steering. And it doesn't immediately dive when you take a high-speed corner. That's just a massive difference with the 911 Gen 2. There's just not particularly a point in
Please try to stay on the track. Yellow flag in sector 1.
the Porsche had the worst time. I don't know where you're referring to. I didn't notice the Porsche dying or anything. I usually switch to my tire overlay. Yeah, just been dislapped. Although we are lapping 25's mid, it seems. That's a bit promising. Nah, not mid, it's high. So that's not as promising. Because that will most likely place me pretty midfield. Oh yeah, that's a factor I'm forgetting, like the midfield. That's a bit dangerous on this track. Now my right side tires are overpressured.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
I don't think there will be much worth of time to be gotten out of this lap. So I will be most likely handed down the field very quickly. As people said, valid fast laps. Although the track is only on fast conditions, so we might see the track improve throughout the session here. Which is an interesting dynamic here in this case. But I mean, I set usually my fastest laps anyway in like the last lap of my runs. He tends to be gained out of the first 3 corners. But then I'm using it at turn 4 and 3. And then I go very wide there. Lose even more time. My tires are a bit warm.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front. Well done, mate. That's the best. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Yellow flag, yellow flag. Be careful there. Slow car ahead.
I'm bleeding time too much. Oh man, my tires are high pressure. Completely. Although I'm fighting a bit the understeer here. What's that here? Heck, I've just driven all the time that I lost out of those 2 corners back. And we're under 9 minutes. I think I might just come in, put a fresh set on.
Time in sector 1.
And try again. And then I completely overshot this corner. Ah, the car's just not gripping up
Yellow flag in
at
sector
this point anymore. Tires are slightly cooked. Turning a bit too early in there. Sideways there. Let's see what my tire pressures will be in the line. Just curious where I need to adjust them. Yeah, the right side tires are about like nearly 0.5 up. The rear left is nearly at the right pressure. The front left is also about 0.5 off. Also, they're getting both hot, so I've marked the brake ducts, I guess, even more than before. Actually, the front right was pretty chill. I saw it the wrong way around. Right. Although I've now opened up the brake duct, so I don't need to adjust down too much. Let's take 0.3 out of the tires. All of them except this one, which I just leave alone. Right. That's a bit less fuel, because we don't need as much. And then maybe take a click of aerodynamics out of the car. Might have negative effects, but we just gonna go with it. I think the car is a bit of understeer right now. And we can work with that by taking a bit of rear wing out of it. I think for the race we put perhaps back, although we don't run much fuel on the car. It's a 45-minute race with a mandatory pit stop, so... Ah, fuck. Because I was like, where's the blue flag car? And then it was half a kilometer away.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Yellow flag is active. Yellow flag, be careful.
And now tires are not coming up to pressure. Oh, that's brilliant. From being completely overpressured to being completely underpressured. From one run to the other. It's like brilliant.
Yellow flag, be careful.
Oh no. It's the worst place to dip a wheel.
Losing time in sector 3.
Oh, ooh!
Landing validated. We've got some light damage on the front.
Oof, that's not good. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on with my tire pressures. I don't think I will be able to put in another lap after this. Yeah, this will be one flyer, and that's it.
Just 3.
I think I can still shoot for an improvement despite my tire pressure disadvantage. Oh, I was shoot completely there. Okay, I cocked it up. Slid out wide there. And now the improvements, because the track is better now, it's gone up to optimum. And I can't get my tires to operate again. It's just unfortunate. This is not great. It's not great. Right, we're waiting for the session to finish. And me having to go through this 4 stages of grief. I have to... just a couple of things. And calculate how much fuel I need to finish the race. So... well then, how much fuel do we need? We need... in lap times about like, what, 25? 24s? Yeah, 24. I think we'll go with 24s. So 1.4 45 divided by 1.4. That's 32 laps. 33 laps technically. 33 plus 2. That's 35. 2.1. My fuel consumption? Is it a trustworthy number? No, that's not a trustworthy number. It's 2.3 actually. God damn it, the game nearly had me there. If you calculate over that, nearly had me there. So let's just calculate 2.4, I would say. And that's 84 liters. And 84 liters, let's just put a pit window. With 84 liters, we... so I can probably get away with like 40 liters in the car now. And then put the other half in there. Pit stop. Nothing really wrong with the tire sets. A fresh tire set on the car. Temperatures, they have gone up slightly. I mean, we've last time around struggled slightly with our tire pressures to get even up. So... yes, that's all fair and good. I think I'll just leave the car for the most part here alone. Alright. We don't have that much of a weight anyway here right now. Okay. Jump off the jacks. Hello, bots.
30 seconds.
We have fuel, we have tires. Where did my water bottle go? There it is. Right.
Going single file.
The radio brands 87.7 FM. Sumas will be very confused by that sentence. Sorry. Jesus, I bogged down completely when I'm in first gear.
Stay double file.
So hope I didn't mess up my settings. Right, okay. Speed limited.
Green light, show them where you go. Car on the right, clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
All right. Made up a couple of positions there. Now it's just waiting for the most part. And that beamer nearly contributed there to another position. Yeah, seems like it's been a very clean start, at least from my position here. which isn't, well, was pretty mid-pack. Oh, come on! Oh no! I'm stuck now in the middle of the track. Fuck! Oh, the car's complete carnage here. And it continues on. We have to pit obviously here. I can't see if there's anybody still coming. Let me just open the relative. There's a brief gap here where we can drive through. Okay. Oh man, that guy just started a complete pile up there. Let me go down. I want to not refuel my car. Let me go here and no tire, fresh tires. Oh come on, just let me roll into my... Stop. Can I get service here, please? Thank you. And it probably would have not made a difference. Man, that was something and a half. He's done it like a couple of seconds. Can't be paused during this operation, so I can't escape back into to watch the replay like iRacing. Ah, that was just so unfortunate. Like the beamer he was loose all corners and then suddenly he just lost it in front of me and I had nowhere to go. Like the problem, yeah, I mean I lifted off but the Porsche didn't have a chance to lift off because he was close. Not a mistake from the Porsche, he just was there and I couldn't do anything about it. And then I got hit off the track. I was completely off the grass. I had to like somewhat get back onto the circuit. As soon as I put two wheels on the circuit, there were people 2-3 wide behind, and it's just piled into, spun me around, piled me off the road immediately. I had nowhere to avoid this collision. Oh, that's so unfortunate because I'm pretty sure we could have like gotten here a podium or something. What am I talking about? Obviously not a podium, but like we could have obviously gotten a decent top 10 result here. I was sitting very well. Everything was put everything right, and then that just happens where the Porsche just hits me in the back and starts the beamer loses it. The Porsche hits me, and then just everything just plows into the. Yeah. I got hit in a manner that it just directed me into that barrier and at like a really bad angle. I mean, I was barely able to move this car off the track finally. Hit the barrier at a bad angle, bounced back on the circuit, and just like there was basically fucking nothing I could do at that point about it. This is bad. Like I'm a bunch of laps down at this point. There's basically no point besides driving this car to continue racing here. It's just, it's so over that there's no description for this. What I don't like is that my right front tire is completely overinflated. Right. That should calm itself down in a couple of laps. I'm not sure, maybe I've punctured a tire and I should have swapped them, honestly. It would have not made a difference. Classic me who's like, well, I only need damage repairs in this case. Yeah, I'm dead last, but like, God knows how many. 1.5 laps is actually what my split plays. I think what's possible is like maybe unlapping myself from that guy. Maybe, although I think not possible because I think that's also someone who got involved in that accident. So he's probably also decently quick. But I took like the brunt of the damage there. Although that car's also in the pits right now, so he might not even be continuing. What? No, another car's in the pits. Whatever. Ah, that's P4. That's why he's getting on me. Car's quite understeer.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
And I miss an apex here. Oh man, you're so far back.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Could have done better there. You need to let a lot of people by in this race, most likely. It's just. Devon now behind me as next car. I honestly have an impressive lead over Devon. Storm the field. Man, my brain is sometimes slow in understanding it, but like that's not happening tonight. It's like, if it was a shorter repair, then for sure I would have probably had a chance here. If it's just been a spin, then no questions asked, I would have stormed back up the field. Very enjoyable, but with the current situation, I'm just going to unlap myself a bunch of times. A couple of people.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Not a fan how my car overshoots the roads completely. Just doesn't want to stop there apparently. I mean, we probably can still actually get a top 25 or something. Just through DNFs. Right, it's a real problem with how long I took repairs. Because that threw me down so far that it's just a bit unrealistic of me actually catching someone. Great. Now the pit window opens. If the crash happened later, would have been able to finish the mandatory pit stop as well, but I have to come down pit lane like everyone else as well.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
Yeah, I'm barely gaining anything on the count front.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Because again, he's like probably roughly around my pace level. Because I mean, half the midfield it just got eliminated in that massive top pile up, so. Funny thing is, I'm faster than P5 right now. I'm not quite as fast as Beret in front, but I'm definitely not going slow.
Losing time to the car in front in sector 3.
Not sure my fuel consumption number is accurate. Let turn it all on. I didn't check my fuel number, I'm not smart. Over 10 minutes still in the pit window, so not panicking. No need to panic. I completely missed my apex here. It's predicting about 24 liters to finish the race.
Yellow flag in sector 3. Slow car ahead. Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
I don't know if that was for position. Nah, I don't think so. Well, it's probably gonna be soon for position. Because that MUQU did not seem particularly healthy anymore. Although the car didn't seem visually damaged much. Spirit was broken.
There's a car leaving the pit lane. Watch out.
Yeah, that actually looks like the correct fuel number, surprisingly. 2.12. So let's just briefly adjust the amount of fuel that we need. But what do we take? About 30 liters. Actually, it's a bit lot that much. I think it's. Why am I taking like 2 extra laps when I need really only 1?
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Seems like I have slightly low pressure on the rear tires. Seems the tire pressure is actually coming under control. I didn't overshoot the corner. Somebody's in the pits right now. Gonna gain another position. 6 minutes right now remaining before the red window closes. I don't know, my tires are suddenly the correct range, which is surprising. Oh.
Faster car behind you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's really a faster car behind me, considering what those two were doing. Man, the pace is just dropping off right now. I guess it's just gonna take slight nips out of the tire pressure there. His tire pressure is just dropping into the abyss right now. I think that's... they're just done for. This pace is just completely evaporating right in front of my eyes. Let's just come in. Maybe they're slightly punctured, whatever. I think I overshot here. Yeah, quite significantly. Oh, whatever. The car handled completely fine. Like there was, it was slightly understeer, but I think that's just the car. Not the car was completely repaired. The pace just evaporated in the last few laps. I mean, the pace was fast. I was lapping mid 25s. That's still very good pace. And I was keeping still somewhat touch with P5 in front, P4 in front, and was driving away from P5. So just consider that. That's very impressive. That would have been in any case impressive, but definitely impressive when coming back from. Oh, hey, there's Jeffrey Bray ahead of me, running. Still just only 4 seconds up the road, considering how many laps I've done behind him. Like, he's quicker, but I'm quicker than the next car in the order, so it's just... or I have been quicker so far. We've been promoted up to P28. But I'm now like 1.5 laps behind the next car and 1.4 laps in front of the next car. Although it can't quite decide where the next car is. Give it a minute. But yeah, I'm a bit down the field, to say the least. Now that we've completed the mandatory pit stop, we can resume our racing activities. Yeah, it's like what do you say? Don't cry over spilled milk. At least in German, that's a saying. Like, just didn't go our way today, and it's just fine. I mean, I wasn't expecting much. We had a lot of pace that I didn't expect the car to. We had a decent pace, it wasn't groundbreaking considering where I have been at times, pace-wise. But I think Brands is not particularly my strongest circuit. I've had really bad times at Brands at times. From leading a race and getting a disconnect, having an accident and a slow puncture and then just an absolute shit race with a KTM, to another KTM off-season race then later on where I just couldn't get the fucking car around the circuit, frankly. And we were like 2-3 GT4, so it was like we're in the end of the second race, like 2 GT4, so it's just the other guy waited up for me constantly because otherwise we just didn't have anything else to do. And it's just you have such races. I think the only one was like when the House of Practice people like a couple months ago hosted like a Saturday session where they on this track, wherefore they had, well, password protected still but open server with them all practicing on, and then a couple every so often would run a race. And I ran one of the races with the GTR, and I think finished in the top 10 at the end. It definitely wasn't particularly quick, but I didn't have any issues in the race, so it was the one race where there wasn't like nothing really happening wrong. But yeah, Brands has not been the best place for me.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best. Slow car ahead.
Hello brakes. But you can't actually turn up for the race.
Car on the left.
Woo!
Clear on the left.
If there's a little world where everybody in front crashes, nah. In all honesty, like, getting this, like, winning this, the chances for that are, like, none. That a couple more people will die in front of me, yeah, that's for sure. Like, I can probably pick up a few more positions. I think that's realistic. But that, well, everybody in front dies is like, nah. That's saying like the Earth is going to be wiped out by what is a gamma ray burst, I think what it's called.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Oh well, the Earth isn't getting wiped out, but all life on Earth gets wiped out in an instant. I mean, considering that, it's like, well, that wouldn't be good. But if you take such outlandish possibilities, that belongs to the same outlandish possibility as everybody through crashing. So let's just enjoy racing and leave wild predictions out of it. The MUQU is a friend. The Fumo Council has approved. You are friends! Although in the second stint, Bray has been quite a bit quicker. And I haven't been particularly able to answer. Also consider, like, for the first stint, I actually kept the tires on the car. So that was the tire set that went with me into the wall. And that tire set still produced mid 25, so it's still quite a bit more impressive, although I'm not able to really improve on the mid-25s now. May need to add to the overlay a display of what lap times I'm doing, because I can clearly read it on my dashboard lap times I'm doing. That's probably not possible to be read in the stream if it's not covered up. I mean, in this car it's probably not covered up, but like in the KTM it would be. Yeah, I mean, I was talking even about 25, so... I mean, lapping the circuit in 25 seconds. That would be something. Vomit inducing. I mean, I have the... what is it called? The Red Bull X something from Gran Turismo with the, like, stage 2 tune, so it does like 500 kilometers an hour and you just cannot drive it anymore. Yeah, that thing around the circuit probably wouldn't break 25s either. I mean, I could try. I've driven, I think, that car once around Imola, and it was just like... I'm driving the corners stupidly slow. Just so that I die completely. And the force feedback was very wonky on that car. Probably because it's just has too much downforce and everything. Yeah. But yeah, it would be just perhaps a bit easier to display it proper. Oh well, that's actually P26 right in front of me. Who we're going to unlap ourselves from. Fortunately, it's not for position. Well, that's one way in letting me by. And then we have an entire battle pack in front of us. Yeah, that's actually for position, those guys. I think they're all for position against each other. I should probably stay out of this. There's 5 minutes remaining. Those guys are just gonna deliver a dogfight here. I mean, if they're going to slow each other down enough, then I'm just gonna sneak by if I can, but like... if I can avoid it, I'll probably try to stay out of this thing. This is a battle for like, I think P16 there. 4-way. With a very diverse group of cars with a Beamer, a 720S, a Lambo and a Lexus. And there goes the 720S. Let's just let him slattern back. Because the battle is not over for him. If he had thrown the car a bit more further off, then that would have been done for him, but it's better for me to just stay out of this and just take first class seats here and watching the battle in front and forth.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
And there's, I think, our... yeah, that's the... it's actually still P29. I think I've lapped him now twice, and he's still P20... oh yeah, he's... no, not twice. I have actually 4 laps on him. Would you like to catch back up to your group?
Falling behind in the car in front in sector 3.
Yeah, because I'm lifting and coasting at times just to stay behind the battle group in front. Don't tell me that the Merc just took someone out because someone wrote in chat, sorry, I didn't think someone was coming. Don't tell me the Merc actually took someone just out. God damn it, that would be stupid on every level. That would be so stupid because he was so not in the race anymore. Well, that 720S is pushing on its last leg. With us sideways through that corner. But I guess the battle is ended. Due to the...
Slow car ahead.
but I mean, a slow car could totally bring the battle back together. Yeah, there's the Merc. Still hasn't made it back to the pits. Like, just at this point, like, I know you perhaps want to finish, but I'm sorry, but you might be better off just retiring at this point. I mean, my prediction lies in that he's probably gonna finish 6 or 7 laps behind me. And it is behind me. It's not finishing behind the leader. Probably has, I think, like 3 laps on me, most likely. Two or 3 laps, something like that.
Neither has finished the race.
Oh, well. Thought perhaps we get another lap here. Perhaps a bit more battle in front. But no. You disappointed me. I was here for a show and then nothing showed up. All showed up. Oh, and then both cars off! The Lexus is gonna get it! Is he gonna get it? The 720S and the... Whoa! Who got it actually in the end? I don't know. The 720S and Lambo were side by side over the line there. That's... I say, I'm so sorry for commentator cursing that one, but Jesus, what just happened there? The Beamer of... the Lambo looked up the inside of the Beamer. The Beamer and the Lambo both run wide. The Lexus snatches the position and the 720S then delivers a drag race to the line with the Lambo. Holy shit, we need to watch that back. That was... They didn't deliver the fireworks for most of my run behind, but then suddenly they delivered it. They finally delivered it at the end. Let's just, I think, escape here. Return to garage. Okay. Right. Let us... Let me bring my keyboard back. That's good. Thank you. Oh boy, that was something. I actually got scored P27 in the end. And car in front ran a few most likely. Alright. Although I'm waiting for the fun scoring, we might get demoted. Oh boy. Let's just briefly rewatch the finish there. That's the first course of action. Ah, fucking hell. Yeah, it's 328 actually. Give me my replay for fuck's sake. Did annoy me. Porsche behind. Is that actually the Porsche that crashed with me? Oh my god, he finished P5 in this race. Oh, that pisses me off. Oh, I think P5 or P6, something like that. He finished. But I'm pretty sure that's the Porsche that actually crashed into the back of me. Still, no fault for him. He had no chance there. I had no chance with the Beamer losing it in front. But that's a bit annoying because that shows that I could have actually finished well within the top 10 there. And, well, and cocked it up. Well, actually, results. Let's go briefly into a spoiler here. For me, at least, because you can't see it actually. Yeah, now let me watch that briefly here, so I know which way it came out. Yeah, the Beamer just overcooks it, and then the Lambo also. They both overcook it. The Lambo goes in front. The Lexus just goes across the grass and gets the position, and then there comes the 728. Can you get him? No. It's actually. Let's just briefly run the slow speed. Reverse. Because I think the scoring line is... I think the front one here. I think that's the scoring line actually. Here, right. And let's just... function key F7. Yeah, it's a bit wonky with VR. And also it's very slow right now because... Oh yeah, because it scales with the speed. Your playback speed for some reason. But yeah, look at this. They are dead heat. There's a dead heat there. But on the end scoring here, the Lambo was by 0.002 in front of the other car. So in the end, actually, the Lambo got it. Wait, where's my chat gone? Chat, where the fuck did you go? I lost my chat actually. I don't have my chat anymore rendered in. For some reason at the top. Well, that's unfortunate. Let me briefly bring my chat back. Because that shouldn't happen. Where the fuck did my chat go? Yeah, for some reason it... Oh, I think the F7 key is also for the... Whatever. Might be something for that as well. Whatever, doesn't matter. I have my chat back. Right, let's quit the server. In the end, there was a bit of eventfulness. But I didn't get my adjusted goal of top 25. Got just about into the top 30. Why am I closing the game? Because I wanted to watch more replay. Right. Let me briefly grab the voice chat again.
Yeah, I just had you pull me along as we drove along. That's why I never attacked you, because I was like, alright, man.
I got caught up in the same thing as Jaja got caught up, and I had a long pit.
Well, I appreciate meeting you, and it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Did you guys already discuss the massive wreck on lap 2?
No, we haven't discussed anything yet. So, I haven't gotten there.
We're waiting for you, Lucas.
Yeah.
I don't even know whose fault that is. It's like a racing incident.
It's a racing incident, most likely.
I don't know. I think it was yeah. Again, I'm watching the replay. I think I was too optimistic, but yeah, let's see it.
Anyone got any
Let's see
numbers
what
for
the
Larry?
coaches.
Yeah.
Anyone got any numbers for Larry?
Hey, Devin.
Oh,
End of lap 2.
I
yeah.
need to.
It's top.
1739. That's no 739. That's the lap 2 incident.
Oh, cool. That's not how this works, though. Anyway, so...
Yeah, for a time.
Jesus Christ.
Larry, Larry,
done
do
this
you have
before.
a time for me? God
How
damn.
about if I turn my input volume up so nobody can not hear me? Anyway, yes, 7:39 in the timeline. Car 1, lap 2 is. He calls it a pileup.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I looked in the mirror, it was empty.
Alright, we're gonna go a little earlier than that, and I'm a little earlier than that. So we in the right place? Kind of lap 2-ish?
Yeah, and
somewhere here.
probably Swingman would be a better camera.
Oh,
Because he had been all over the place the last 3 corners.
Okay.
And then he loses it.
Oops.
Ooh.
That's
So
it.
he dropped it and died.
Yeah, but the
He's
pileup
got his
started
brakes
it
on
behind when you watched
Oh,
me.
alright.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead. Alright,
yeah.
so let's find out what happened to him. Alright.
Yeah, but if you'll watch, he does have his brakes on and he stops out in the grass. That's one
Yep.
positive we can say about that.
Yeah, he did nothing. Well, he screwed up his driving here.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's getting
Those
worse.
came from behind.
wow.
This is how I met my friend. Okay. Alright.
Oh.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I didn't know it went that far back.
Yeah.
That rejoin.
I think you're still getting
Nah.
hit, Lucas.
Yeah, I
don't think it was
get
a
hit a
rejoin.
bunch of
I think
times.
it was more
Yeah,
like,
you
what
get
the
hit a
fuck
bunch of
happened?
Well, yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
punt and punch at the same time.
Yeah,
So yeah. From my point, I was again. Like I think I was too optimistic, but then I thought Lucas was he lost it on the side on the grass, but then he was coming back. I got on the brakes, but it wasn't like wasn't enough for me to get to tuck behind Arjun. So yeah, that's at least. Let's see.
Let's see. So, okay, so he dies. He comes off on the grass, and we try to fit this space.
Yeah, that's not
So
gonna work.
This is never going to work. So
Yeah.
yes.
Nah, this is when here when I got on the brakes. I thought like I thought I might fit a little bit earlier when he was on the grass, but then when he got back, I said, "Oh shit!" That's
And then you get hit from behind.
So
Is it then
hey,
happens
I
what
would-
happened
I-
to me because the
I would
Porsche hit
give
me
you a
from behind.
naughty. I would
Sorry,
give you
what?
a naughty. I would give you a naughty and hand slap you a little bit there.
Yeah.
Because if you had let Lucas come back on the track and given him a chance to survive, you at least would have been together. So when a car has fallen off the track and has lost control, he has no control. So
Yeah.
we don't know how far he's going to come back on. We don't know what's going to happen. So try, and you're not gonna get enough change in speed. You're not gonna be so much faster where like you're gonna gain an extra 50 or 60 horsepower where you can make it by, right? So it's almost safer to let him get back on the track at least, so we can see if he's gonna kill himself before we try to get by him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because then you kind of get pinballed in the middle, and then everyone else kind of gets caught up and da 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 da. Like yeah, you tried it. I'm not even gonna get mad about it. But in the future, let them die. Right? Let them die. Let them die.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
It goes for, to some extent, for the cars behind as well. There's an accident ahead of you. Can you just slow down?
Oh yeah, no, I actually want to go back and look at this car because this one caught my attention too. Same deal. There's an accident in front of you, and I don't know when we're gonna even stop to try to not be in it.
I remember ramming Shane car.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of green throttle here.
Yeah, I'm genuinely confused how this car gets into an accident because.
Yeah, watch from the onboard, I think, just to see if you can see the cars in front crash. Yeah, you can see that clearly.
Oh yeah, clearly there's a crash happening. we break down here, and then we try to weave our way through.
Yeah, the problem is that I'm completely stationary at that point in the middle of the track, because that's where I ended up.
that and 4 of the cars. So, right, like.
Well, I was completely stationary. The others were like at least rolling a bit.
yeah, but even if they were rolling a little bit, right? Like he's not going to be able to get a wedge through. It would be like if you were trying to cut someone off in a parking lot, right? Like this is the equivalent of trying to go for a parking space for the other dude, right? It's just not going to work.
Yeah, so technically there's no like rules infringement here because I mean it's an accident, but purely from getting the best results of the race possible, if there's a big accident ahead, you can just slow down very early and just be safe.
Yeah. What I would call this typically is free money, right? Because you've got 4 cars that are going to fall off. Pretty good chance you're going to get by at least 3, right? So have free money. Even I'm gonna mute you because that's. Anyway, so that's free money. Take the free money.
Yep.
Just curious, like I was following Lukas like super close before the incident happened. So like, is it my fault that I hit Lukas? Because
no,
there was
you had no chance there. You could barely see the accident happening in front, and I could not react to the car in front. You couldn't react then to me slowing down to avoid it. There was barely a chance. This could have. Yeah, I get tapped. It got tapped, obviously, run on the grass, and then my only chance is to actually rejoin the track because the track narrows there with the bridge, so I don't have really a chance to stay on the grass there.
The only thing you may have been lucky at, and I mean it's such a low percentage thing, I'm not even going to count it, is if you happen to be looking at the BMW in front when it started to understeer off the road, right? But like that's a big ass fucking if, right? Because he's like, oh, he fell off the road, something might happen. But that's such a huge if, I'm not even going to count it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's also
I couldn't even see him from this angle.
Well, I don't know if your camera angle was the same as mine, right? But if I'm looking ahead into the corner, the BMW is understeering wide, right? So you may not care about it because we don't know if he's going to crash yet. Like it's big. Like I said, it's a big fucking if, right? So at this point of view, you can't see, and now you have to accelerate. So shit, right? And then you can't. Really
you could have broken a bit earlier because you saw him a bit. But like, it probably wouldn't have made a massive difference. You would have still hit me. Like, it would have been slightly less speeds, but it's probably still sent me slightly into the grass. Yeah.
And then you were smart and you stayed on the throttle so you could get the fuck out of there, right? Like that's what you need to do, right? Because otherwise you're gonna get caught up in what's happening behind you. And it's apocalypse now. So good on you for not like lifting and being like, oh, I'm so sorry. Because some people would do that, right? They would hit Lukas and they would lift to be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, and then he'd be another green car dead on the side of the road. So
yeah, it would have been even more cars because I mean the problem was then that the Aston went side by side with you. And I had to rejoin, then it just went 3-2.
I was looking at my mirrors like, oh my god, there's a stampede coming. I gotta run.
Run, Arjun, run!
Run, yeah.
Oh, by the way, side note, just Arjun, by the way, your pace after your pit stop was awesome. That was excellent.
Thank you.
I was pacing you on my relative as we came out of the pits, and your mid-fuel run out of the pits was excellent. And I was just like, god damn, I can't keep up with that. That sucks.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, someone give me another one.
Okay, I'm going to throw a little brag out here for myself and a few of us that were running.
Cool.
My car, 100.
All right.
Lap 21.
Okay.
And start at the hairpin.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go.
That's about right there.
Alright, well.
Just let it run through with lap 21.
And perhaps
Man,
in
you
real.
guys
There's an over and under here that you just won't believe.
Okay. Alright.
I was chasing Ron. I was pushing him very hard. He did very well to stay ahead of me. But
That
there
was
was
a really
a bit
nice
of what's coming up from behind was a bit scary, and it worked out really well. Mauricio, you did an excellent job in this section, sir. I outbraked myself here, and then, well, it must be the next lap, because I could have swore I saw 21. Same spot. Here it is.
This has more of the people.
Yeah, but I outbraked myself.
Ooh.
Out under.
Oh,
Now, hold on. Go back
That shit ain't happening.
go back 2 or 3 cars behind that and rerun it.
Alright. So let's go to Mr. Smith, maybe? That's too far back. Mr. Foster.
Okay,
These are in
I
front
was
of
the
me.
closest car, but yeah,
Yeah.
I outbraked myself, and then Mauricio came around on the inside. I was like, "No, bitch, this is my corner."
That's
Oh, you had a drag race. No, not you, but like Foster and the bunch had a drag race to the finish. Yeah.
Watch that.
Yeah.
It's all coming.
Hi, Bob. I was in the lead and I messed up.
That was like I was sitting behind you guys, just trying to stay out of the battle because, but it was just.
nice save.
And it was fair.
Yeah,
it was a
that's
4-way
the other
fight.
part right there. He came around me there.
Nice save, though. Good save, though.
Yeah, it was a
I
four.
did the last quarter coming into that, and I was thinking, like, I just have to survive one more corner. I thought I felt Smith on the inside of me. I go, he can't do
Yeah,
it. So I tried to create a hole.
Yeah, let's just watch that, actually.
Too late to create the hole, and so I just.
Let's stop teasing people about about it and actually show it. So.
And then everyone blew by me. It was amazing.
All right, Larry, buddy.
All right,
Final lap. Fun.
Kudos for
Let's
both
see.
of them.
With this
It was
car,
really-
actually.
It was impressive, Larry and Ron. I was watching from behind, and really nice job, guys.
I was hoping I couldn't tell, Larry, whether you were just toying with me or whether I was doing a good job of staying ahead of you. 'cause
No,
it
I
like
was actually. Let me
right
tell you this.
there.
I was trying very hard in certain corners to get you to go quicker.
What?
But
Yeah.
also, you were quicker in the exit of some corners, so it was a little bit of back and forth between the both of us, and there was a couple of times where I got close enough that I literally couldn't see around the BMW because it's so big.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I
you
lost
tapped me
my
a couple
braking.
times. We
Yeah.
touched a couple
Yeah,
times.
there was a couple of those, but it was definitely, I was driving about as hard as I could to keep you honest, but you drive better under pressure without looking back. I can tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth. These are facts. These are facts.
I felt good about how we were fighting, but we still let the leaders get through us. A couple of times when it's like, okay, now's the time to let them through, right? So
Right, exactly. We let Carter
guys
through and a couple of the other guys, but yeah, it was at the end of the race when we go back and look at the last lap. It's a real barn burner in that last corner.
Nice. All right.
All right, let's see. Rob has 45-30. A late move up the hill. I guess it's turn 5, and car 69.
45.
Nice.
45-30.
There we go. All right. Get rid of all this nonsense.
45-30. I think you're 46.
Oh, maybe I'm not paying attention. Yeah. There you go.
I think he's talking about turn 5, but let it run. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just let
Yeah,
it run. After a while, it's just easier.
At some point, we will get there.
Yeah,
Eventually.
Exactly. I cannot believe how fucking quiet this car is.
The M4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make much noise. It handles
Rob
good,
got
but it
way
doesn't
out in
sound
marbles,
like
and
much.
There's another slide into turn 1.
Ooh.
Wow.
That was sketch.
Apologize for being that aggressive.
Yeah, that I think that was the defensive move there that wanted to be discussed.
Felix
But
has
that
got a big
Ferrari.
right foot. That's why that thing keeps stepping out.
Oh
on him.
Jesus! How are you driving a Ferrari sideways of all cars?
Your car's balance hates you. It's just like hard on, hard off, hard on, hard off, hard.
Like the understeer
Felix,
machine, the
let's
Ferrari.
go back to Felix's car for a quick second in that last corner.
Sure.
We can point out where he's making his slight mistake here, and he's coming into this corner too tight.
Yeah, I mean he's defending here. That's the thing.
No, I'm not worried about the defending portion.
I think you're talking about going through
he
three.
technically shouldn't be defending, because if he's doing anything, he should be trying to run away rather than defending. He's got a good line through here, nice on the exit, and he turns in way too early up here at this corner. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Whoa.
right here.
Yeah.
Hell. You see how much corner is left?
Yeah.
Like
For
the
whatever reason, I've had more luck with the Ferrari when I hug the inside of turn 4 like that.
Yeah. Well,
Don't know why, but I gain a couple tenths.
Well, it's because you gain on the entry, right? Because it's so tight
Yeah.
and so long. But even if you were a little over and stayed tight to the corner and were just a little later, when you get on the power going down, you'd be even faster. Right?
The apex of this corner is right about where you're at right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
This is about midpoint, but if you turn in a little later, instead of being so close to the curb, it puts you on a better trajectory up the hill.
Yeah, how does your delta develop relative on the run down to Hawthorns then? Because if you're through this line, not just into this corner, but also out of the corner somehow faster, then we don't understand physics. Because physics dictates that this is slower out of the corner. That you into the corner faster, we can definitely believe that.
Well, and I know Opal's going to say something, but one other thing is, like, I noticed a lot of people chasing you into this corner would do this because they would early apex because you close up a lot and it seems really intimidating. And then you get to the apex and I'm just rolling down the straightaway because I just need to get on the power going down the straight. And so if you just wait and are a little later, you want to kill me into 5. You don't want to kill me into 4. We'll both die. Right?
But I think with the exit on this one, you've got that bump. So if you can hug the inside line, you can also gain some speed, especially with the low riding mid-engine cars.
Yeah, you can drive a fairly close to the inside line. I like to run a very wide line and then going for a late apex, but you can obviously hug the inside. However, here he's hugging the inside way too early.
Yeah. So you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that if you're on TC1, you're probably gonna have trouble on this exit because there is the bump, and if you're on TC1, it's gonna unsettle the car really badly.
I was thinking about the same thing with ABS one when he was going down into Druids. That
Oh my god, sketch.
Yeah, sketch as hell. Like a little more ABS.
I mean, no wonder his car is sideways the whole time.
I always
But
run 1-1.
You should be flat out at this point, and just like drifting out the outside of this.
You should be way out behind this orange and blue car behind you as far as when you exit the corner.
Well, and it's one of those things where I always tell people to try to use the tools a little bit more to their advantage rather than just reducing them. Because like track surfaces change, fuel loads change, tire wear changes, throttle changes, a bunch of other things, right? So getting used to using the tools to your advantage rather than just running a low number because you think it's faster will help you overall. Like when I come out of the pits, no matter what TC I'm on, I always bump it up 1 for the first half a lap. Just so I have a little TC just taking care of me until I kind of get back into a rhythm, and then I'll bring it back down again. Like little things like that, right? So here, you're more likely to just lock up and get wheel spin unnecessarily. And over time, that's going to hurt you.
Well, it also hurts you even in the short term. Every time you're sideways, your acceleration is actually lower than it would be if you were going in a straight line. Even if you had a partial TC activation, you would be faster in a straight, like with the car straight, than when it's sideways. And also on the bump, you should not be hitting the bump with any kind of steering angle. You should be fairly straight at that point. If you are still steering at that point, then you probably had the line slightly wrong.
All right, let's go back to Rob's car and let's watch the action as we were going up the hill like he was talking about.
Yeah. Little vacuum.
Wrong hill.
Yeah, it was T2 on this lap.
Oh, were we talking about the defense going into the corner?
Yeah. But then that was like the thing that was technically asked, yeah. So, right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
I thought he was sliding the car, and that's why he was over that far.
Let me
No.
go back here because I want to look here because like y'all know what I'm gonna say, right?
Yeah, he's sideways there. Straightens it
Well,
up,
so
and then
there's a couple things, right? Like first, Felix, you're putting your car at risk, right? Because we're just trying to squeeze him so early on. You could have just rolled off the corner and just carried speed into the corner and covered him. So it's not very likely that Rob's going to be able to get a huge outbraking down on you on 2 in a place where you can't maneuver. But you're definitely putting your car at a lot of risk because now you have to turn a hell of a lot when you get to turn 2.
Yeah,
right?
so my thought on this one was as soon as I came out of that slide and caught it, I looked behind me and I thought I had more room. So right here, I look behind me, I think I have more room. So I'm coming over, making my one move early. So if he wants to try
Yeah,
to go
that
around the
makes
outside, that
sense.
was my idea. However, obviously, that's not what happened.
How big is the speed differential when he moves over? I'm very curious about that.
It is.
Well, he's on the brakes there already.
Yeah.
So
it's
you
'cause
need
he's
to
kinda
slightly
slowed
go
down a
back.
bit. You need to go back, yeah.
Because he's on the brakes already.
Let's see here.
100.
163.
Yeah, about 12 kph, wasn't it? No.
About two. I'm looking for when we cut right around here. 168. So 4 or 5. Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot. Because Rob's still over at 100 here when he gets on the brakes, right? Yeah. I mean, and good on him for seeing that early, because a lot of people still would have just tried to shove it down the inside no matter what happens. And you both die. So, good on him.
Yeah, the braking was probably a bit excessive for such a small speed differential, but it's very hard to judge when you have to make the decision in like a split second. So it's
yeah. I think the thing I would worry about trying to cover when you've just recovered from a slide is like if you're sliding, you know you're going to be a little slow, and you know the car next to you is probably going to have a bit of a run. So if you do pull in front of him, you kind of have to hope the guy's paying attention and is like, able to manage enough that he doesn't go the dumb. Because sometimes, like when you're sliding, ask me how I know, people get really, really excited and they're like, I can get him! And then they just get on the power and just fly into the corner full speed, right? And because if we chop him, I now can't get out of his way if he's fucked his life over, right? Where if I kind of just stay over and just cover a little, I'm still a little safe. I have a bit of an exit. So it's just something to consider. Like, it's, you know, I would have just said that was on the limit and kept going. I would have looked at it and been like, whoa, but I wouldn't be like, oh, you're terrible.
Yeah.
What could happen to me?
Yeah, it is a lot of cases when people, it's very easy to get carried away when you see somebody who's like slow because they just recovered from a spin, and you're like, I can get him, and the reality is like you're a second too far back, and then you're just not going to make the pass there. You're not going to clear the car, and if it's so easy to just get carried away and just then commit to stupid dive bombs and things like that, and you can fuck your race up completely that way.
It's partly because the closing speed is very deceptive when somebody is accelerating from a very like almost standstill. You are first catching really fast, but your car is not really accelerating anymore because you're already going very fast, and the other guy is accelerating very quickly initially.
Yeah, that's literally like I think I sent Larry an example of mine, and I literally did all the wrong things in the cases that you're talking about.
I guess we could look at that now.
We'll beat you up in time for it.
All right,
I'm here for the public bidding.
Right.
Help me learn.
Sir Gustavo at car 72.
While you're looking for that, I just want to make a point. I wasn't trying to dive bomb if the space was there. I was hoping I'd be putting pressure and then he might go wide or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Sure. For me, I didn't even really see it as a dive, as like, or anything like that. Like, I kind of was the same page as you, Rob. Like, I'm gonna be over and see if he'll outbrake himself, and then drive off the road.
I mean, if anything, it's kind of a legit over and under because his entry to the corner was wide. He was running wide on the exit, so it was perfectly legit to kind of see if you can get a run on him.
Timestamp of 15:30.
All right. Am I paying attention this time? Maybe. Who knows?
Should be right here.
Oh, hey, it's Carter.
It's a little bit further.
It's coming. We're not quite to the 30.
So if we decide to
I didn't get a full time from N2, but he's chasing Carter quite hard here.
Yeah, I would say, can we see from Mauricio's
Ooh.
car? Yeah, it's those. I did that move, and then there's another one. I just would like to see how is.
So that's not a place for an overtake. I'm just gonna put
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, so
I think he caught him out.
Let me just say to you like one thing about this. Like a racetrack's like a map, right? So you can plan where there are good places to overtake, where you're not going to put your car at significant risk. Like you guys are in the top 3. There's literally nobody else in front of you. Following him to a better place to make a move is not going to hurt you. But trying to attack like between 6 and 7, unless he's like really fallen off the road or like has really gotten on the brakes or just basically just fucked up, doesn't make any sense. Because you're going to have to take a huge amount of risk driving out of your skin to try to get around something that you don't have to. So sometimes you just got to follow folks until there's a huge error. Because like, you know, if I'm Radelli, I'm waiting for like a battle into turn 2, or I'm waiting until like for them to get kind of together in like turn 7 when, you know, the cars are going to be loaded up and stuff, because that'll make it easy and safe for me to make it by. I don't have anything to gain, and I have a lot to lose, so I might as well just hang out and hope the 2 blue cars kill each other. Right?
Yeah, let's let it run.
Yeah.
Just putting pressure.
Look at what point in the race you're at. This is lap 8 out of, you guys did what, 32?
32.
So, if I'm sitting in 3rd place and the leaders are that close together,
Yeah.
I'm hanging back and letting them kill each other. Hopefully.
Look how pretty that blue is, right? Yeah, exactly. Like here, look at how much risk this is. This is so much risk.
Yeah, I mean, going.
Think about that cone of influence we talked about, right? Like, and I'll go pull it up in a little bit, but in that racing guidelines thing I talk about, where we talk about that half semicircle from the A pillar, where Gustavo can see. From Gustavo's point of view, he can't see you. He has no idea that you're there, so he's not going to adjust.
Yes, he has, because he's watching the radar.
No. It doesn't matter, because you're still too far back.
You cannot assume that.
Yeah, you can't assume that, right? He's not going to have to adjust for you going into the corner, because you're nowhere near alongside him. You're just kind of by him, so he doesn't have to adjust for you. He just needs to turn. So your amount of risk you're taking is extremely high, because he can't see you. Like, especially from this point of view, I don't even know you're there, right? I know there's a car around me, but I'm not going to slow down for it. That'll just give the position away. So I'm just
but you're gonna feel pressured and gonna make a mistake.
But you don't know that. But you don't know that, because since I know that you're there,
Let it run first, because if you back out at this point, yeah, you're putting pressure on, but you're not backing out at this point.
Right, that's what I'm saying, right? Like
you're making. Back it out.
Yeah,
yes, that's the point. I was just trying to use him to an error there.
Yeah,
so
but
I understand what you're saying, and it makes complete sense, and that comes the almost error. You see, it's and again, so yeah, I got it. It's a very, very high risky move, but it has a point.
Yep.
It has a very nice point. And
I didn't say it didn't, but there's like 9 other ways you could still apply that same pressure and not put your own car at risk. You're behind him and you're bright red. So like just sit behind him and he'll do the exact same thing, and then everything else you said makes sense. But you don't need to put the risk of your car maybe getting smacked off the road, because what if he drops it off in the grass? Then you die. And then we're just having the same conversation, but we're going, why'd you get hit? It doesn't make any sense. That's the point.
Next move. Yeah.
That's the point, right? It's not about pressure. Your pressure is being in the relative gap by the car, not where you are next to the car.
Yeah, I would like to note here, well, that's something, that just out, but like, something. This is here mainly advice for perhaps drivers that aren't as experienced as fast. Don't particularly do this. I think we're dealing here with 2 drivers that are very experienced, who can do stuff like this and it work out, but it's just where iffy situations like that can work. It's not great to do, but it's doable. It's just don't do it at home.
Say, like, don't rely on the other driver like hoping that they're gonna be paying attention to.
Oh
the
yeah,
radar
don't
instead
do
of
that ever.
Yeah,
Have
or
always
do
a
the thing
backup
that you
plan.
think you're going to do, right? Yeah. Because the moment you were like, well, he might outbreak himself, I'm like, what if I don't? What if I don't and decide to turn in on you?
in this track.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to have a margin just in case, like
in the rookie race.
Right, like just in case I have a different plan than you, right? Because like, oh yeah, I could see you coming, and oh yeah, I could just decide to turn in, and oh yeah, you just have to deal with it. So then I had my plan for you too.
The other aspect of pressuring somebody into mistake is that you have to be far enough that when he makes the mistake, you don't die together with him.
Right.
So you have to kind of do it in such a way that when you get to the corner, you have some distance and you're slightly safe.
Well, let's point out what has happened each time he has almost collected him. Every time that he got extremely close like that, it was near the apex of the corner, which means he's braking too late. He's not anticipating to be able to keep the distance between the two cars because Gustavo brakes, then he brakes, and he's braking late.
Right.
And that's why you catch him at the middle of the corner rather than lifting and then braking slightly early to be able to maintain that 0.2 of a second or whatever it is between the two cars, so that on the exit, if you accelerate earlier than he does, you get a better chance of outrunning him to the next corner. So that's one of the things that nobody's paid attention to here is every time you caught him, Mauricio, it was as you were braking generally slightly late, I would say, and that's the distance that gets caught up. You're not really putting pressure on him. You're almost touching him by not anticipating.
I actually don't agree. I'm braking so late. It should be hard to point out graphically here, but it's almost like I'm actually better than he is.
But there's one big thing. There's one big thing. We're forgetting big picture, and I'm really trying to give you guys a visual. You're helping Carter by not winning the race. Every time you attack Gustavo, you are letting the car that is winning the race get away.
Yeah.
Because here we are on turn 4. Here we are at the very end of the following lap because you've attacked him in senseless places where you can't get by. You gave away all this space to Carter because Carter doesn't have any interference anymore because Gustavo is being interfered with. So in the big old picture, even if you did happen to get by, you now have a bigger gap to the car in front that you have to get to. Work with your friend. Have a dance partner. Right? Because then you both can pressure the person actually winning the race. Right? That's what's important.
Go for
what
the
you're
X.
sort of saying is that it's the difference between your goal being to pass the car in front of you versus your goal to win the race.
Exactly. If you're trying to win the race, you need to have as many things to interfere with the leader as possible. If you're just trying to get second, you're doing a fantastic job at trying. But it's not going to help you win. It's just going to help Carter get away. And then you have to try even harder and hope Carter makes more mistakes because you've given him a buffer. Why do that? Like, especially with a 6-second gap to the cars behind, you've dropped everybody. The 3 of you have dropped everybody. You're in your own race. You want to beat the 507.
Yeah, so the point I want to make is not just whether you want to win the race, but if you're in a group of cars where the lap times are very close, you have to think, do I want to pressure the guy ahead of me, which risks the car ahead of him getting away, or not? Like, do we work together to get the car ahead of this guy, or am I so much faster that I can actually make the move stick and then go after the next guy?
Yeah, I mean, honest to God, with a car with the race format that has a pit stop, you literally could run to the pit window, just following them, and then wait for Carter to stop, do an outlap that was just mega fast, and then he can't do a thing about it. Right? Like, you don't have to pass these cars until you get to traffic or you get somewhere where it makes it so easy for you that you don't need to overdrive to try to justify the fact that it's not working. Because you've already got pace. So just use the pace. Don't hurt your car. Alright? So.
But the defense moves was quite aggressive, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh.
They're all aggressive.
Because I put myself in risk as well, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But you also kind of don't really have a choice because you're being attacked in a weird spot, right? So, yeah, you're kind of defending, but you can't slow down. Because if you slow down, you have this really, really aggressive car trying to force his way by. And we're not in the business of giving up positions either.
I mean, you're not
Right?
really defending into this corner that aggressively. Like, if he stuck it in there, both might have even survived the corner.
But for example, I could, if I turn a little bit more to the right, he would have hit me there, and I would spun. He would be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not
You know,
right.
we're not-
So I could have paid a little bit more attention to the radar.
Well, we're not in
No.
the business of driving in our rear mirrors, right? So you don't need to worry about that so much. It's really more of the fact of, now that I know that I have a car that's really aggressive attacking me the whole time, you kind of have to stay on this aggressive pace in order to keep a gap away from him so he doesn't drive into you. Because if you slow down, because he's so aggressive and just driving up to you whenever he feels like it, there's more likelihood the red car is going to hit the blue car. End of the day, right? Because he's not being measured for a clear overtaking space. He's just trying to fill your mirrors and be aggressive. So he's increasing his risk coefficient by a lot and giving you very little room to maneuver. So you don't have a choice. You have to either be really aggressive. You have to be really aggressive or slow down. And like.
Okay. So then, can we see the next move that I told Larry? I believe that one I was a little bit too over.
Let's see. We're talking.
It was on 30. No, it was on 30. Let me check the minute.
I
exactly.
didn't have that one. You didn't put it in.
Oh, it's a little bit further up on the message.
Lap 20, I believe.
38 minutes.
38 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 38.
Yeah, we're here.
minutes.
We're here. We're already. Oh my god.
Right
Oh my
there.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
That was the move that Larry told us before. Larry did that move, and then I catch them. And the only way I was almost on the left side. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. He's trying to push you off the road. That's not nice. That's. Oh god.
Okay, but like, I was the one that put my car in the risk as well, so I lost the position.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Could I have
Exactly.
like just break it up and save it?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, like, you know, here you're trying to drive around the outside, and Radelli has the right to kind of cover the inside.
Yeah.
And if he touches you through fault or on purpose, you're in the weeds, right? So
that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't serve you anything here to try to push this so hard because he's going to defend the corner, and this is literally the opposite of what we were just talking about, right? Because he can't go any farther forward than Foster. There's a car in front of him, right? So if you're going to do anything, just push him into Larry, right? Because Larry.
Yeah, that's what I was doing the whole time. That's why
Yeah.
that happened before. But I got like a chance over here, and I thought it would be fine.
Right. So
But
back to my
I
earlier
was a little
point.
bit too aggressive. Yeah.
Right, back to my earlier point. What could have happened to Mauricio happened to you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point, trying to save the race. And I lost like 7 seconds on that. Yeah, that's the whole point.
So are you saying that wasn't a good, that was a unwise move, or it was a legal
unwise.
move?
No, it was unwise.
No,
It was
unwise. Yeah,
not
totally
illegal,
unwise.
just not smart.
Because it looked like he has position that he could do this if he wanted to.
Well, he's got space on the racetrack to drive there, but it's not an intelligent place to drive, right?
They try to push everybody tight to the inside, and if I'm slower up the front, right, and I slow everyone down on the inside, he might get around on the outside and pass all of us.
Yeah, but I mean, that's him taking a huge amount of risk if that's going to happen. Right?
Yeah, but the other thing is he
Like-
doesn't know what I'm going to do behind you. I've got the draft.
Right.
Very good draft,
Right,
because
you
that's
may
how
pull
I
out.
stayed behind you. I could have pulled out to the left, and if Gustavo had enough of a draft to pass Mauricio, it would have been Camillo behind me, and you guys would have been left on the inside. So there, at this point, there's just too much going on here to really make it, and it also shows the shit netcode of ACC, because slightly further ahead, the two cars, the blue and the red car, are touching, and technically you can't see the division between the cars.
Right. Well, and also, if this was quote unquote real cars, the dirty air from the BMW and Larry's car is fucking with your cars. So
Yeah,
when you
there
do
was
get to
just no
turn in-
way.
No, when you do get to turn in, and especially in McLarens, which are the aerodynamic calculators of the game, right? There's so much air wash over your car. You're going to be less likely. You're offline on the dirty spot in dirty air in a very narrow area of the track. It's a very low percentage that any of those positive things that you think are going to happen are going to happen.
So if Larry and I weren't there, it's a good move? What makes it a bad move
No,
is Larry and I are...
no, what makes it a bad move is that he's getting squeezed off the road here.
Right. Yeah.
If the other car actually gave him room, this is a totally legit move and can. It's not likely that he's actually going to complete the pass here.
Yeah.
But because you're going around the outside, but as somebody who passes a lot around the outside of people, it is totally possible to do that.
Well, and also it's one of those things that is not illegal, but it's something to be mindful of the next time I race this person in the future. Because some folks would have been like, oh, there's someone next to me, I'm going to move to the right just a little, just so we might have enough space. Because you still have to take that long arc, you still have to make the corner, I still might survive. Unfortunately, this car is not one of those people, and that's okay because he's not breaking any rules. He's not breaking. He has the right to do this. It's not the nice thing, and he's not going to get a Hallmark card from me. But like, he still has a right to do it. So I know I'm not going to try to do an outside move like this again with the car around me because he's just going to come over. All the rules say he can, but I wouldn't.
And if by any chance we could make that one side by side, he would have the position to be on inside on the next one.
Yeah, he's on the inside consistently, but the advantage you have out of that corner is that you're going to go faster because you have a quicker exit because he has to slow down to not push you off the road.
But at the same time, uphill I would be in the advantage because I'm gonna be on the outside, and that one I need to brake more to make that turn.
In high-speed corners, the optimal line crosses over once you get to the apex. So in a side-by-side perspective like this, by the time you guys get to the exit, you're on the exit of the corner if there had only been one car, right? So like you're right, there is that small percentage where if both cars were behaving themselves and let themselves go by side by side, and the red car happened to slow down enough, you could get a bit of a run and roll on by because you're technically on the exit, right? But that's a lot of if, buts, and paper.
We have to think of somebody who's nearly pushing you off the road here. He's not going to give you the room on the exit. He's going to push you fully off the road then.
I give a fuck about you right now, right?
I think that's a fair assessment. I know you're in this chat. I'm sorry, but I think that's a fair assessment.
So wait till later. But also, it's another one of those things where, like, if you're battling a guy like that, like, okay, fine. Like, we don't hate him. It's okay. Not an evil man. Just that's how he's driving his car. That's okay, right? Try to push him into Larry. Try to push him into traffic. Like, just stick with him because you know you got pace with him, right? And you're not going to go any farther forward. So just wait.
That is exactly what I was doing towards the end of the race. I was closing the gap after those 7 seconds, and I noticed that I was pushing because of the pace that we had at the end of the race.
Yeah. Well,
if you had a couple more laps, it would be like another
you maybe
battle.
could do it, right? And you also do need to be close enough for then when we do get to these lap cars, for whatever reason, if there's a way for them to get by, you don't want to have so much of a gap that now there's intermittent traffic between you, and then he can run away because he's fucking fast. Right, so I can't let him get away, but I don't need to be trying to turn it to a purple car, right?
that's the whole point. I was pushing him like for 2 or 3 laps behind Larry and Ron.
Yeah, like, I mean, honestly, if I'm Carter, I'm just the happiest ass in my life. Right? So happy, just driving around, just wondering about my life, and just like it's all these things because they all are trying to kill each other, and I'm just like,
but he was out of the fun. You know, the fun was between me and Ridley, so we had all the fun.
I mean, if this is your idea of fun, then
no, that wasn't fun. But before that, it was.
Are we having fun? Oh, no.
Before that, it was pretty fun. Yeah. No, the first part, it was nice.
Did you actually dodge the barrier there?
No, he just barely did. It was enough to make him straight. Is all it did.
I got lucky on that
actually.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, Davin, part of that, was because the 3 guys were just so much faster. They were lapping us, right?
Yeah.
But we were all battling, right?
Sure,
and so it was a trade-off between, hey, we have a battle going on, but this guy needs to get back behind. And I could see like Carter coming up like 2 back, right? I'm thinking like, oh, he's behind Larry. So what point do we let him go? And
you shouldn't. You did it right.
Well, actually, what happened was when Carter came up behind me, I made a slight mistake in front of him, and he went on the inside. I left him room, and he ended up chasing Rick. He ended up chasing Ron down, but he pulled me with him.
Right.
Well, that was the thing, right? Because I could see like Gustavo, when you came up, I go, okay, I'll let you buy this turn, but so I lifted, I lifted pretty aggressively. But then I'm thinking like that just puts Larry right on my butt.
Exactly.
There's a little bit of chess you have to play, especially as a back marker car, of how do I let the lift enough so that the faster car behind me can catch the guy in front of me, who's the guy that I'm really racing, in a way where I don't get screwed, right? So like if you're in this position right now, where we are right now, if you're like Ron, I don't give a damn about anything that's happening behind me at all, right? It's up to Larry to figure out how to get these cars around him, not get killed, and get them to try to kill you. But you just need to run away. You don't need to be courteous. You're in a battle. You need to open up a gap, and the only way that's going to happen is if Larry slows down, right? And then when they get to you, you want to do the opposite. Is you want to be able to get by in a way that lets them go by quickly without giving Larry too much time. And that might just not happen depending on how close Larry is. So you have to be aware of that, right?
Yeah.
And like open up just one lane. Something like that, so that you can give space for just one car or two cars, right?
And then drop in behind with the draft and let him pull you along to get away from me.
Yeah, it's probably, I bled off way too much for that.
Yeah. Well, and if we're on a team together and I'm watching you right now and you're considering having any conversations about lap traffic right now, I'm screaming at you, "Go, Ron, go!" Right? Because you're hurting yourself.
Ron.
Yeah,
It is like Devin said to us like last week. Your best weapon is your pace. So just
actually, that's what I was thinking in this race, right? Because I think normally I'm thinking, oh, I need to block or I need to defend, but I was thinking like, and actually Henry told me this too as well. It's like until they're about 0.4 of a second behind you, you don't even be thinking about line. Just drive the race line, right?
Yeah. Well, because you're going to make it worse, right? Anytime you're off the optimal line, you're going slower.
Slow down.
Right? You slow down. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, I'm going to block him so he doesn't get away from me, but I'm going to drive off the optimum line that doesn't give me enough space.
Yeah, I just stuck him up behind me.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, hi guys, how you doing? Like,
yeah, a couple of weeks ago, in the Alton Park race, I had that case when I was trying to pass someone, and he decided to defend into turn 1 with his I was driving 650, yes, he was driving Aston, and he went defensive. And because he went defensive into T1, he had a slower exit, and I could get a cutback and nearly completed the pass on him because of that. So that's the thing. I don't oftentimes go particularly defensive. I just like when people go defensive because you're just opening up for me the line to take the normal racing line into the corner and just pass you around the outside.
Yeah. There's a lot of telegraphing that can happen sometimes when you're overly defensive up front. Because you're basically waving this giant sign that says, I will be going slow now until the order changes. And so, at the chasing car, all you have to do is lift and watch them basically drive like shit. And then you get on the exit and drive right by. You're just like, okay, well, that sucks. And you don't need to do anything. So, like, often when you're, like, trying to intimidate people and they start to get offline and do dumb stuff, let them continue to do dumb things. And then drive right by them and be like, oh, well, all right. Right? So it'll go.
Well, I have two things. So don't defend when somebody is within X seconds of you. Defend when they have a run on you. Because if they don't have a run, it doesn't really matter how close they are. In most cases, there are some places like turn 1 Kyalami where you probably have to defend if he's close because you can try to outbrake. But on this track, for example, there are exactly no places where you need to defend if the other guy doesn't have a run. Because if he can't get side by side before the braking, he's never gonna make any moves on you.
Right.
The other thing I wanted to say is that while it's okay to squeeze like Mauricio is doing here, he's squeezing too much because it leads to contact before the corner even starts. So
yeah, that would actually be a penalty.
If this is a sturdy race, it's a penalty. So it's okay to squeeze, but not so much that the other car doesn't have room. Like you can see here, he's already on the white line. He can't go anywhere. So just a tiny bit more.
Yeah, it's
done by me. Apologies, Gustavo, for that.
No worries.
Enough space. It was, but you see, this is a fun race. I had a lot of fun, and Larry was holding me for 5 laps in a row, 4 laps.
You know how I did that?
That's not a championship race. Because,
do you know how I did that, Mauricio?
What?
Do you know how I did that?
Oh yeah, but
I had no idea you were back there. I wasn't paying attention to the rearview mirror.
Well, so that was what I was thinking, because I saw Mauricio back there and I saw the blue flags, and I was wondering. I said, "Oh, Larry's not letting him through."
Yeah.
So I was thinking, but am I supposed to be doing something here? And I was just like confused.
So I was watching that fight from Larry's perspective, and I was just like saying that he's doing the right thing. He's not giving up his own fight just to let somebody lap him.
Right.
Because that's how it's supposed to work. If you're so close
Gotcha.
as you guys were, you can fight your own fight. You can also make a tactical decision to let the lapping car go, because that might open the door.
That might push me off the track. But basically, the exception to the rule of the blue flag, get out of the way, is if you're in the middle of a battle.
Yeah.
No,
There's no. Yep.
No, get out of the way. Yeah. So two things. First of all, go read Rule 6.3 because it explains it. Second of all, the get out of the way rule is an F1 rule so that back markers aren't killing the aero off leaders. But here, that doesn't apply. The leader has to find a safe way to get by. So you don't need to give a damn about him. You don't, right? You don't need to fight him or anything, because that's kind of dumb. But you don't need to lift for him, right? He needs to.
Well, I think it's the difference between rule and courtesy, right? I mean, I understand the rule, but like for instance, I lift because
I would say rule and strategy, right? Because there are some times where people think they're being nice and fucking it all up, right? Because they get offline somewhere and I can't predict where they're gonna go, and now I'm dodging this slow ass car. Where if he would just stay where he's supposed to, then I would just drive around him. I drove all the way around the racetrack to get back to him. I don't need help. I'm fine, right? So it's one of those things where like I get it, but I don't fucking get it. Like it's almost more rude to jump offline because you're in the way now. Now I am gonna be mad at you, right? plus there's that strategic factor of now you're just giving up your own race because of reasons, and you've given away so much time because of you might be in an suboptimal area of the racetrack when this happens. Like this place is kind of suboptimal, right? So if you lift now and just drive away, you're never going to catch him again. Your race is over. You might as well just go home. We stopped racing.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to time those things, right?
Yeah,
Make it easy for them.
I was doing a multi-class last Sunday where in Misano, and you know how the last sector there is, and I just would never let anybody go when we are in the last sector, because there's no way I can do it without losing a lot of time. And yeah, the faster class cars had to sit there and stew in their own annoyance, but that's too bad. That's racing. The only actual rule about blue flags is that the car being lapped may not defend, like active blocking and defending and any of that. So if the faster car gets like a run on you and is on your side, don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple of those.
But
actually.
If you go back a few laps and watch what Larry was doing to defend from me, so that was not a back marker example of behavior. The hairpin, he went wide, and I went inside, and he totally closed the door.
That's the line I take through that corner. That's your fault for being in the wrong spot. I mean, I'm not trying to be blunt about it, but I mean, literally,
there is
my
a little
line
bit
through
about
that corner is turning late, and if you've stuck your nose in when you know that I'm going to turn down on you, that's your own fault for being behind me.
There's a little bit of that. Like
how it works.
We talked about this in Donington, right? We talked about this in Donington, where it's like, just because you assume that a car in front of you should take a particular line or go in a particular place, doesn't mean they have to. It's like braking points, right? Like, if you're chasing me, and I brake early because I need to, balance issue, just not comfortable, whatever.
Brakes cooking.
Right? Yeah, your brakes are fucked. Who fucking cares, right? I braked 20 feet earlier, and you smashed in the back of me. You can't blame me for braking earlier. You just didn't anticipate anything. And you just hit me, right?
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, like when he went wide and I found some space, so I went there. Okay, but I was prepared to brake if he eventually closed the door, and that what happened. So it went like I was predicting, so no accident, no crash, it was okay. But as a back marker, everything I understand up to this conversation now is that if you went wide on a corner, just accelerate a bit less, just a bit less. So the faster guy will have a split second to go ahead of you. If he can't, wait for the next
Well, and
opportunity.
I think there's
Devin,
a
roll
little
this
bit of
back and find that corner he's talking about. It's in the hairpin, I
That's gonna
believe.
take forever. So like a part of it is the difference between if you're losing control of your car or versus if you're defending against the car in front of you, right? Like Mauricio, I understand where you're coming from, right? But
It's
there's
very
probably
frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and I totally get it, right? There's a little bit of it of like if I'm following a car and he fucks up, like how cognizant is he going to be about getting control of his car and then like decelerating enough so I can go by? Probably not very likely because he lost control of his car.
I mean, in
Right,
all
so-
honesty, you're quite a bit back on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did go wide into turn 1 because I missed my braking point
Gotta be
here.
back here because I mean any closer and
Like you're miles. You were catching
Yeah.
up till that point, and
Right.
now you're starting to come into viewing distance of them.
Still not in this lap. Maybe.
I was gonna say
It's
let it play
probably
for
a
while.
few
We'll-
laps.
we'll let it play for a while because it might take a little bit. But somebody had said something about Ron. You had said something about X amount of seconds before letting someone pass. One thing that I do often when I'm practicing is I run with my relative MFD up, and I run with other cars, so I can see what the relative time gap is between the car in front of me or the car behind me as I'm running, so that it doesn't spook me, right? So I know generally.
Ooh.
Okay. So I know generally like what 4/10 of a second looks like or 3/10 of a second looks like, or like Rob and I would do it for a while where we'd run around brands and I just see if I could open a gap or close it or not, and it gave me a general idea of like what that experience would be like, so that it didn't spook me. So if I'm running in a train and he's at a half a second gap, right, and I'm driving full speed, I know he's not going to make it by. He's just going to sit half a second behind me. That's all right. Right? But he'll just stay half a second behind me. I don't need to do anything. So that helps you then kind of keep pace without having to worry about what everybody else is doing. They'll find some closing speed.
But yeah, that moment into Hawthorne's bend, that was not nice.
Yeah, that was aggressive, yeah.
If you wrecked him out, that would have been, do we send him for the stop going or just the drive-through?
Yeah.
Oh, is this it? Is this it? What you're thinking?
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
Yeah, that's more frustrating than him having to stop. You know?
I mean,
kinda getting the
now
corner
he
here,
comes the move where he
Fantastic move, Larry.
where he goes on the cutback.
At that point, I saw him coming.
Yeah. I mean, because he's still battling Ron, and so it's like it sucks that he overshot it by so much. Because if he hadn't, then I'd be like, okay. But because he did, Larry can go. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Gustavo. Oh, there goes Gustavo.
Yeah, for me this was a great race.
Man, I don't
How many
know
track
what
cuts do you
insurance-
collect?
I don't know what the insurance policy is here on the McLaren, but good catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the insurance policy is on the McLaren, but that policy is not high enough.
Even these cars are like extremely flammable. I guess pretty strict.
Yeah.
All right, since we've gotten through all of this, let me put it to you this way, Mauricio. You did a great job of battling, and I didn't even know you were back there until you actually started to make the deep dive, and I got the over and under on you. And at that point, I was scared to death, so I had to haul ass and go catch Ron. All right, let's see. Felipe Sonner wants 47:20 on the timeline.
Yeah, I mean, getting 3 laps stuck behind the back marker is not. It feels like an eternity, but it's not like the worst that I've ever experienced.
Our number's 16.
It can be worse, and these drivers are definitely not going slow. They're going slower than you, but they're not going that slow.
I think I heard 15.
Car 16, I'm sorry.
Oh, 16. Sorry. Okay, cool.
Oh,
There
don't
was some
tell
sort
me
of
it's
an
the.
accident here, and I don't know exactly what it was.
Oh,
Don't tell me he's collecting the MUQU there.
Is this where we
No! I saw the MUQU at the side of the. I saw the MUQU at the side of the track, and then drive half a lap around it, and see in chat somebody apologizing. And I was like, don't tell me it's the fucking MUQU, because that was the car that was a position behind me 4 laps down.
I remember.
That's just.
This.
Ouch!
I remember this because I wondered what happened to you. But all of a sudden you were just on the side of the road. I was like, "Why? What happened? Look at what happened."
What happened was Spain without the S.
Alright, so let me.
There isn't Merc driver here or something. He's positioned behind. He's 4 laps down on me at this point. I saw him spun out here and was like,
Technically, he is waiting to see if he can find an opening.
Yep.
Yeah, but then messes up.
Whoa, that was close.
This is a hard, like,
on.
okay, so admittedly, this is a very difficult place to be.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're gonna drive into traffic, which is hard. You turn at some point across the track, which is hard. I don't know if you have your MFD up, which probably would help a little. But let's see what happens after this.
Not to mention the full map would be a great idea.
Track map.
Oh, track map would be helpful. All right.
Oh yeah, you thank you for
Was
sharing.
his car on or was his car off?
Yeah, I mean you can see the RPM.
It's running. The RPMs are on.
Yeah, so he's waiting. He's waiting.
He's not gonna come on.
But he also has a traction control of 10 out of 11. That's one of the reasons why he couldn't flip it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's really true. It's like when he got on the throttle, the traction control kicked in and stopped him. Right?
Yeah, also he could have moved a bit further up to closer to the road, so he has like already the front right wheel already on the road before after he's clear, he has half an hour before he needs to rejoin before he finally gets on the track.
Yeah,
he could have cut down the time before he actually rejoins.
You're saying it's better to, on that situation, because he's on the inside, not in the traffic, to actually get his front wheels on the tarmac.
Yes, already get into a position where you can because he's not in the danger area up to a certain point.
At this point, he should be backing up.
Yeah. I mean, given how long he was waiting, he could have reversed quite a distance.
Yeah, the problem is you still can't turn around at that area.
Yes, everybody can see much better if there's a longer distance from this blind uphill corner to where he's standing.
I'm gonna say yes, he can, because there's a lot of space here.
And
right?
yes, he could have stopped here, reversed, done a 3-point turn, gotten away.
Yeah,
that also would have worked.
Yeah, he could have
done like a 10-point turn on the grass while he was waiting, because he was there for a very long time, completely still. Right. So don't discount doing like an 8-point turn or whatever in a very tight space, because it's still better than waiting 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean he could have. Yeah, sorry.
Let's also take note that the yellow flag is waving, and Sauter didn't slow down at all.
So funny story about that, actually. So I'm behind him right now, and I actually saw the yellow flag come out when they spun, and I said to myself, yellow flag, and kind of slowed up a little as I was coming around the corner, because I didn't know, like, this is a place where people die all the time. So I'm like trying to look around the corner as much as possible to see any indication of like what disaster could be there, because I don't know if it's on the left side or on the right side or anything. And so by the time I got there, I saw a bunch of dust on the side of the road, and I was like, oh, someone's fallen off, right? But the flags are out. Right, and they're telling you.
9 times out of 10, it seems like the yellow flag. You go through and there's nothing there, and I'm like,
yeah, but it's best to err on the side of caution, right? Because on the 10th time, oh my God, right? We broke into the matrix.
you know what I like
now, but well, that's a very much a sim racing thing, where because we are not in physical danger and we don't generally have to pay when we crash, we tend to be kind of careless about this stuff.
Yeah. I think also in real life racing, nobody really cares about yellow flags. You just go, okay, I need to be aware there might be a car. Okay, look around, but you don't really slow down because you lose.
If you look, well, it depends a lot on the track. Like if you look at the tracks with blind corners, they do actually slow down, not very much, but enough that they have the option of changing line, because that's kind of what is expected. You don't need to probably be able to come to a complete stop, because that would be ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not a double yellow, right? Like, it's just, hey, something might be happening that you should be aware of. And around here is when the yellow flag for me came out. And I was like, oh, okay, if anyone's going to die, it's going to be the car in front of me, so let me just wait. Because, I mean, I can see this dude up here. He's waving the flag. So something is happening. Like, I looked at this bro right here at the marshal post. He is waving a flag. So something is going.
Although
to be
he
happening
stopped waving right there.
yeah. I think he knew that everyone died. It was like, wait,
It's all clear for you, buddy.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
That's actually a fairly good point. That the marshals on the side of the track indicate the area of the accident much more closely than the sector 1, sector 2, sector 3.
Yeah, obviously. You have also have.
If on a corner entry you can see the yellow flag, it's very, very, very likely that the accident is in exact that corner.
Yeah, because that's what I look for. I think for me, like it's a little bit of like real race car habit. It's like you don't get these flashing yellow things in club racers, right? We're poor race car drivers, so we get just people waving flags. So whenever I see a person waving a flag, I look up there, and then I'm like, oh, it's clearly in front of me. And I'd rather him be wrong and me slow down than me be wrong and hit someone. So I'm kind of just looking around, seeing like, oh, is there somebody? Is there somebody? Okay, we're good. Right?
Yeah, you know what? Again, that's me. If you have the map on, when I get this yellow flag, I just glance at the mini map on top, and then you can see the yellow dot or nothing, or if there's like just with a glance you see the yellow dot means like it's very close. The next the accident or the incident is compared. Yeah.
But yeah, you get in car are also displayed on that little display if you're on a double yellow, which that is actually useful. If it displays like some sector, like you don't need to care. But if you actually, and in ACC you actually have usable yellow flags. Like in R Factor you get a yellow flag and it's like 4 corners behind you. It's like. Why would I care about a yellow flag in that case? But in this case, you get a yellow flag. Something is there. Good chance the car is like 5 kilometers off in a wall stuck. Bad case, it's across the track.
Yep.
Also, if you use in-game crew chief, the crew chief will tell you if there's a yellow flag in front of you. There's a car just parked up in front of you.
If it says yellow flag ahead, it is very much fairly close ahead of you. Otherwise, it just says sector whatever.
Yep.
And also, there's a certain amount of track knowledge that comes to play here. Like there are, if you get a yellow flag in this corner, it's quite likely that the car is on the right side of the track, because that's where you usually end up when you spin on the exit.
Oh yeah, I mean it could also be stuck on the left side, but
It
yeah.
could be, but most of the time when I find a yellow flag here, it is actually on the right side. Probably I don't know, 4 times out of 5 or something.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to check the left-hand side when you come over the crest, and then you can start looking to the right.
Also, the left side has so much more runoff that it's usually not like it doesn't matter if there's somebody there, but if there's somebody on the right, they could be partly on the track.
Yeah, it is very frustrating because I was aware of this MUQU because he was the guy that was in the race still behind me. Reminder that I took like 2 minutes 30 after my initial accident on lap 1 as repairs, and he was still 4 laps behind me in the end. It's a bit of an achievement that he screws up a rejoin and screws somebody who's running in the top 10 over. That's...
Be nice, Lucas. Be nice.
It's not good.
Be nice. Be nice.
I hope he's probably kicking himself and I don't need to say anything more.
Be nice, because I gotta coach this dude. Be nice.
Yeah, I'm fine.
All
right, next one. We have one about a pit stop and was it legal or not?
Oh my god.
This should be good. Give me this one.
Guys, I'm going. Thank you for the race and the pointers. See you next time.
Yeah, see you around.
And sorry for the aggressive moves. I have another one to watch if you want before the last lap on the hairpin. So if you want to go back there afterwards,
cool.
It's
I'll put it on the
between
list.
me and Sean, 380, another mecha.
Excellent.
So it's just more of everything you said. I was in a very tight space. I shouldn't be there, and I touched the other car. It was a back marker. I think he didn't saw me at all. So yeah, today was a very harsh lesson about not taking account, not getting it granted that you are seen in the track. So yeah.
That's why we are here. We all to learn.
Exactly. That's why we do the debriefs, right?
Yeah.
So exactly what
It was fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. So thank you guys. Good evening.
How do one?
Okay.
Have a good
Baby.
one.
So Larry, where's this illegal pit lane stop?
If I can get a fucking word in edgewise, thank you.
No one knows how these things work. They change all the time. Yeah, this is new for everybody.
Car 94 at the 29:10 is when the pit stop was done, so start at 29 minutes and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Off topic, that livery looks amazing, Davin.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I
How could
wanted
a
to
pit
use
stop
like a
be
retro.
illegal?
How do you guys make deliveries? I've never
94, there you go.
Oh yeah, it's easy. I just pay a guy money and then I just say do this. So I don't make
94.
liveries.
Okay, he's coming into the pit lane.
I just want to say it wasn't intentional. All right, if it was a stewarded race, I'm thinking I would get disqualified. I don't know.
What did you
I
do? That's the good.
I am so interested right now.
Did you do like a side dis?
What?
Oh.
What?
Oh, you missed your pit box.
You missed your pit box.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, there are no collisions in the pit lane, so.
Let me say this. It is very easy to be disqualified for driving the wrong way in ACC. Now, I don't know if it happens in the pits, but if you back up for too far, it will throw you into the pits. You will be locked out. You have to sit there until the race is over.
And we will laugh at you a lot.
I accept it. I accept it.
I have a quick question. How many pit stops have you done before this one?
Myself?
Yeah, here, yeah.
I mean, in practice, I think I entered the pit lane like 4 or 5 times, but I didn't actually stop at the pit lane. Actually, at my place in the pit lane.
There you
So
go.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you done any prior races with pit stops?
Yes. I've been like last rookie season. The how was it called? The sprint challenge, team sprint.
Okay.
And so on, so on.
Second question, and I'm literally not teasing you. I'm just gonna keep giving you a line of reasoning. During the practice, how many pit stops did you do?
I think
today.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, today 4 or 5, something like that. Because
Alright.
in the last race here, brands with this, the AMG I was using, the Mercedes, I crashed into the side wall in the pit lane, into the pit stop. So I wanted to make sure I nailed the entry, but I didn't actually stop at my place during practice. So this happened.
I'm only checking because the other thing that I was just thinking about is, and this still catches me out and it drives me crazy, when there are cars that are in the pit lane that have retired early, for example, they'll be in the way of your pit box. And so sometimes it can be really difficult for me to see my pit spot if there are cars that are sitting in their space, like timing the brake point I still suck at. So like I end up pitting a lot during open practice so that I remind myself like I'm in the middle, I'm on the 4th one. Like I just like have to remind myself like 15 times, right? Because in the heat of the race, like I'll forget, or I'll forget to turn my car off, or I'll forget to turn my car on, or other dumb shit, right? So I have to practice pitting a ton.
What is this called? Like in game, you can switch off that it doesn't show the like a marker around the pit box. I think you
can. Turn that off?
I don't know. I've heard of it being able to turn it off.
Of the animation, which is actually the guys that are running around you.
Oh, but I like
and
those guys.
there's also the pit board that the guy sticks out there, but the orange square that's on the ground is always there so that you know where your pit box is.
Yeah, because I thought that was possible because I think I've seen who was it mention it who was it Aris mentioned that in like an old video about pit stops. I think you can turn off the black pit, the rendered pit board, so you only have the real pit board standing there. But I'm not sure because if you turn that off, then you missing the pit box is a bit easier.
Oh sure, yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, well, honest to God, that's why I keep the animations on. There's a whole bunch of guys being like, "Dude, fucking stop!" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, there you are." So.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you turn the animations off? It look nice.
I know.
Yes.
I feel popular. It's nice. All right. Anyway, Larry, how much more do we have?
Well, there's a number of them, but I'm going to pick a couple specific.
Okay.
You know, you should watch Tucker's move on the last bit. I mean, it's an amazing pass, ballsy move.
We'll look at that last. I know because there were 6 of us at that point.
Oh shit!
Lewis has one. He has 2230 on the timeline.
Okay, 22.
And car 70 is his car number, so we're going to have to look for a back marker letting him through. It was at an inopportune time.
Oh, it's our MUQU again.
The guy.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Why does the pit stop moves your car if you're like in front of the line? Is there a reason for that?
Because
where it picks you up and moves
You
you.
have to
lifts
be
you,
in
like,
the pit
twice.
box before it's legal.
Oh yeah, because you miss a pit, but like you're not lined up in the spot.
You have to, just like the real life rules, there is a certain threshold within which you have to be for the pit stop to be legit. Like you can't pit anywhere you want to.
You mean like left and right? You need to be exactly in the middle?
Yeah.
Or you mean like on the sign in front of you?
Every direction. If you are too far in any direction, they have to move the car first. So practice. That is very important to practice if you want to win races, because you can easily lose like 3 or 4 seconds on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
That
joke.
happens to me.
No joke. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Pit stops is the best way to make time.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you're not moving. All right.
So for this example,
Unfortunately, Mr. Gallo is not here right now. He's already left.
Yeah.
But I will work with him so he does not have this kind of an issue later on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had. I actually used him as a tire warm up in my qualifying. I'm not joking, because he was pretty slow. So I followed him for a long time because it gave me a big gap to the cars in front. And then, you know, he fell off somewhere, and so then I had a huge area. But...
I
It
guess
happens.
Lewis wanted to point this out because it just seemed like he gave him an opportunity, and it was just at the wrong time.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
fair. This is. Yeah, I think he let Gallo also let me like a couple laps at some point also at the same place, the same way by. Although he didn't like move nearly back onto the racing line like there.
yeah, I think there's a little bit of like just more sweet time will be helpful.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
you know, running a car with TC10 is probably cutting and spitting like a fucking misfiring bull, right? And then we have just getting comfortable in the car, right? So it's spitting at you and I'm driving slow.
And this is Brands Hatch after all, where you have a very small window to drive around the circuit, especially that section at the back.
Right. Yeah. No, you're totally right. So just we'll work with them. More seat time.
Yep.
You know.
All
right. Give me another one.
As a general point about that, I want to say that most of the time, at least when I'm lapping someone, I'm really afraid when they let me take the outside into a corner and they take the inside. Because I have no trust whatsoever that they know where to brake when they are off the line. I know I can make it when I'm off the line on the inside, but I don't trust anybody else. So it's usually better to stay on the line and let the faster car figure out whatever.
Yeah, or take the outside. But not in this section, really.
Yeah, I was actually with him somewhere during my race, and like I rarely flash people. Then this one time I did, because I just rolled up to him and I just flashed my lights for a little while, and I was like, "Hey man, I don't really want to do this, and you don't want me to do this. Can I just go?" And it made life much easier because you know we've seen each other a few times today, so it's much easier for me to just be like flash and then just drive by when I know I can get by. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
Right.
Larry, give me a couple more because I'm.
Car number 70 again at the 15:07 timeline.
Alright, car number
Guys,
70.
thanks for the race.
Okay.
Cool.
70. Okay.
You said 15:07.
Correct.
Alright.
So heading down the hill.
Who are we fighting? Okay, Shatner.
I think.
Oh, ouch! 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 Ouch!
I don't know how that happened, other than the Porsche got off in the grass.
There's no Porsche. It's a Beamer.
Here's the thing that I look at here in these situations. So the crash, that's happening, right? But what I don't get is why we haven't just tried to stop the moment we see an accident happening. Right? So we're on the we're on the throttle. These cars are crashing.
Throttle.
We're still on the throttle. Like we're not even trying to let those cars kill themselves. We're trying to slip by, and we've actually driven into the point of accident rather than waiting for the accident to finish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I wrote in the note.
Yeah, because if Acosta had been on the brakes and nothing else had happened, the Mercedes would have driven into the outside wall, and then you would have been fine.
Yeah.
And then just driven away. Right? So driving into an accident is just not gonna ever work.
Yeah. I would like to see what the from the beamer in the swingman what happens there.
Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure he loses it on his own, but it's just would be interesting to see.
Well, might as well look, yeah. Oh.
Real quick, Ilpo, I got a quick question.
I gotcha.
On the pit stop where he reversed in the pit lane, would that be a disqualification if it was stewarded?
Probably wouldn't care. I mean, we're not catching that one because it's not on the sheet. And I mean, if there would be collision in the pit lane and he causes a collision because of that, he would be in a lot of trouble.
I think it's possible to cause a collision in a pit lane, right? Because once you
Yeah,
enter,
collisions are,
I specifically said if there were collisions in the pit lane, then he would be in a lot of trouble, but there aren't.
So no.
The strokes only active on
instilling
upon
the fear in
collisions
the
started by the game.
So, by the way, 'cause I don't care about this anymore. Back to this thing. Pearson's just braking too late and is offline, right? Because we're not going to make the corner so far to the inside and going that fast and where we're braking. And so we fall off the road, and then we fall off the road again.
Yeah,
and it's
even the
same
MUQU
problem.
could have avoided that collision.
Yeah, both of these cars did the exact same thing. They didn't let the car crash and kill themselves. They just tried to drive through it, and then they got collected. So. Yep. Yes. Yeah, son.
But yeah, about the point with the stewards, like, especially when we're live streaming a race, we have a software that lists the incidents and it puts them into a spreadsheet for us. And we just progress through the spreadsheet. So if there isn't a collision, it's pretty hard to catch for us. Now there is we usually put out after the race a sheet to do post-race submissions. For example, if to submit incidents like people cutting the corners and things like that. Isn't common, but in case that happens, that happens. We can deal with that. And I mean, if we see something happen, we might investigate it.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a rule. I think it's still in the rulebook of that if you get a penalty and you decide to just instead of serving the penalty, to just quit the race immediately. That penalty carries over to the next race.
Yeah, we probably will revisit how exactly that happens.
we might revisit that one, but with that one, we had to look after the race, review through the replay to see if anybody quit after getting penalties assigned.
Yeah, but the general idea is that, general idea is that you have to serve the penalty. You can't just quit and avoid it. So
yeah,
of course. So there is one caveat, which is that if your car is completely fucked up and you just can't go anywhere, you can sit in the pits to the end of the race, and that is considered the same as serving the penalty because you're wasting your time. So you're basically admitting that, okay, I fucked up, I need to kind of serve this.
Yeah, but as you said, we need to revisit this.
And we will probably revisit how exactly we are going to handle it, but the general idea is that you shouldn't rage quit if you get a penalty.
Right. Yep.
I mean, if you get a disconnect, if your car decides to, if you serve the penalty and then your car wipes out through an unrelated incident, then it's fine.
Yeah. Yep. Also probably useful to know that if you have a technical issue during the race, first of all, if you have a technical issue, try to make certain that your game is closed as quickly as possible. Like if you can't control your car, Alt F4, pull the network plug, whatever it takes to make certain that your car disappears from the race. Because we had a couple of unfortunate incidents last season where technical issues killed a bunch of people.
Here at Brands Hatch was
the
another
other one is that if something like that happens, it's very helpful if you just put a message on the Discord text channel saying that I had this technical issue and do it immediately as you can, like as soon as you can. It just helps us to know that maybe we need to revisit whatever penalties may have been applied, because maybe that was actually caused by a technical problem.
That makes sense.
I mean, if your game suddenly completely freezes up, but you still have force feedback, probably the game is still running in the background, and going full throttle through the down the straight is probably not a good idea. Because you're probably not going particularly straight, and there's a good chance you collect some on the other side.
Bouncing off stuff, yeah, for sure.
All right,
Alrighty.
so now we got 2 more, and that'll be the end of it.
All right.
Okay.
Car 22 at the 30.27 time.
Alright, 30.27. I can count. I got it.
Okay, there's a Porsche coming out of the pits.
Oh no.
Whoop. Send.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
No.
Spins it around and oh my god, a rejoin like that, Sanchez.
You did the same thing to me in the rookie race last year. You did the exact same thing. Oh.
I saw that happen. I was like, "Thank you very much."
Yeah, first of all, you're on the grass, you have no control, you're heading for a very tall curb on the inside.
Well,
I mean, that part still somehow worked.
If I can explain my whole mistake here, I see the Porsche. I think he's Shankar hasn't done his speed stop at all yet.
Okay.
So I guess I didn't expect him to close the door so harshly. Okay. So when I saw that he was going slower, I said, all right, I think I can make a run and get past him and not lose position with anyone on the pits, because I had already done my stop.
Hold up, let's take this one at a time. First of all, you're so far back when he turns in, that's not a place for you to put the car. And he didn't close the door, he was on the right hand side.
Yeah,
played a little bit.
Yeah, he goes left and then he goes right again.
This is a normal entry line for this corner. That's the problem with this corner, is that there's at least 2, maybe 3 completely different ways of approaching it. Some people take a very wide entry and very late apex. Some people take this kind of diving to the apex and then just turning the car around the curb. And
well, my reason why I kept going straight and I went for it is I like, if you back up, I mean, and I'm not excusing myself. I know that if I got a penalty, I'd be completely in an agreement with it. I guess what I was thinking is, like, right before, like, if you pass, like, keep going a little bit straight, you can play it. He's on the right side, and then he decides to go left right here. So I said, okay, he's decided that he's going left, and then he was back into me, and I'm on my brakes, and I was like, I can't disappear anymore.
That is your fault.
Actually, that's my racing line.
I should not have.
Yeah, the thing is, it's...
Sorry, that's exactly my racing line. That's the same that Sanchez took. Shankar took.
Yeah, it's also my line. So the thing with this corner is that because there's multiple lines through it, you have to have the overlap pretty early so that the other guy can make a decision on his line. Because right now, theoretically, he could try to avoid you, but he would run completely wide the corner at that point because he would just have to go straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually usually, for this particular track, I warn people in the briefing about this corner, because I've seen this kind of thing happen so many times where people expect some line and then they are surprised when it's actually the other one.
And again, as I said, like, I'm 100% in an agreement that it is completely my fault.
You're pulling this,
it's not my fault. I'm just explaining my thought process of why I did what I did.
I get it. And the only reason I'm pulling this up is that, this is not for you. This is just for anyone in general when we have these discussions. This general shape is what I use as a judgment call to see whether it's your fault or not. Right? And you are behind that half circle. So Shankar can't see you.
He's even further behind than this.
Yeah, way further behind than this. Way further behind than this, right? So some of the things that you were mentioning earlier about like the pit stop and the timing and everything is more just kind of incriminating yourself more so than it is helping, because he's in 7th and you're in 8th. So regardless of how that's worked out, I don't care. Like if I'm Shankar, I don't care about that. Yeah. Just we're fighting for position, right? It doesn't matter. He doesn't need to adjust for you or anything.
No, yeah, I mean, I guess if that's completely like, again, like I'm not defending myself. I just, if I was in his position, I know I behave differently, and I'm not saying that I behave right. I probably behave wrong in the sense of GT racing.
Okay,
well, also the flip side is that if you are looking at Shankar and he hasn't stopped yet, why try to push so hard to pass him? He's gonna stop soon.
Again, like, I mean, I was just I wanted to be sure that I was gonna be able to maintain track position with people I was racing with, and have not pitted yet. Yeah. But that, I mean, again, like, I'm not excusing myself. I know that I did it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of other points here. One is that if he hasn't actually stopped yet, he shouldn't try to. Like, he could probably just let you go, because that's just safer for him, and then he can just stick together with you and go fast. The other one is that if you do want to defend to this corner, it's actually quite safe in the sense that you don't lose as much time as in some of the faster corners if you take the inside line, because the corner is so slow anyway, it doesn't really matter. Like, the difference between the optimal line and the defensive line is fairly small in this corner.
I think I was so far behind that he probably just didn't think I was gonna.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that.
That's why he cut in. I mean, it's not his fault that just was so far behind.
I'm gonna help clarify. He didn't so much cut in as he did just turn.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he did his own turn because he didn't think I was gonna go for it.
Right.
Let me finally...
Right,
Stop. Sorry. I wanted to finally interject at this point, and it's been taking a hot minute here. So,
I got a tip for you in the future for that, by the way. There are 2 words that work really well that don't make you sound like an asshole. It's called, excuse me. And then you say the things you want to say, and then people let you talk. It works out amazing.
Bane Pickle. Yeah, right. What has happened here again that I've brought up, like nearly an hour at this point probably ago, is that you got carried away with that the car in front of you had the disadvantage here, because he had to slow down to get around the Porsche. You did the right thing with, like, going to the inside, because he went to the right and then went to the left to give the inside room, but you were now way too far back. But you're in this mindset because of, like, he hasn't pitted, so, like, yeah, he's going to, like, give the position up and stuff perhaps, and, like, you need to get by him to keep your position against the people that haven't pitted, and you're just railroaded in this mindset of, like, you're going to go for this pass corner go. You were focused on this already, and it's just it's not going to happen because you're not in the position. The reality is this is not going to work here.
No, yeah, just think of the next turn and stop thinking of so many things and making bad decisions.
Yeah, you would have had to just, this is not happening here, the reality right now.
Turn 2 is just a hard corner to really, like, outbrake someone. But, like, because of what Ilpo mentioned earlier, right? It's so tight and so narrow that, you know, getting down here and trying to get a maneuver next to the car and giving them time, it's just tough. You know, and so you just try not to, like, where you can, unless you really get that overlap. It's back to that half circle we talked about, right? If you don't really get that, it's hard. If you had been another 2 or 3 feet forward, we might be having a conversation of everything you're saying makes sense. But since you're not, you're just running into the back of the Ferrari.
Yeah.
So.
This is barely a hairpin, because this is like it's a sweeping corner. Like, it's not a single apex corner, or you just turn and get on a throttle type of corner as well.
Yep. All right, buddy.
So
Larry,
the
give me
piece
my
of
last one.
resistance for the night. It's going to be car 13 at the 50-minute mark.
Okay, so car 13.
Yeah, and it takes a while for it to play out. You may even have to look at from cars further back.
Yeah, probably a good perspective is actually my car, which is way down the order.
Tucker?
Yeah, Tucker works as well.
Alright, let's see. Yeah, let's do Larry.
Larry works.
I did it again!
Okay.
Hey Kyle, how are you enjoying the Lexus? You having fun?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So happy to see you driving that car.
If only JD was here to hear that.
It drives great on the grass too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god.
And it's a drag race, it's a drag race, it's a drag race! And the Lambo just got him! The Lambo just got it!
Can we take a look at that from my point of view? Like my attempted pass on Ron?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Thought process where I wasn't exactly thinking I was going to pass. Because I had seen laps before Larry and Ron fighting, and I was like, okay, if Larry gets out in front and just escapes, I'm done for. But I saw him run wide, and then I got behind Ron. It's like, okay, I've seen him run wide a couple of times. If I could just get my car in a position where the mean Lambo lights would just intimidate him, I thought, okay, I could.
Yeah, I mean, you intimidate him off the road.
Because coming out of Sterling, I had a kind of a slow exit, and you had a good one. Because I had a good gap going into Sterling, and I was safe. And out of Sterling, all of a sudden, oh, he's in the zone to pass me. He's going to try it on in this, last turn. And I felt you there, and then I released the brake too much. Exactly what you did. You intimidated me, and I messed up.
Yeah, because right there, the call comes in that this is the final lap. That the leader has finished the race, right there. So at this point, everybody knows this is the final corner.
And I felt you coming in there. I go, okay, he's going to make a move here. And then I said, oh, there he goes. And then I said, oh, got to give him some space. And then I just messed up.
Both of you into the crowd.
I think I got on the gas a bit too soon is what happened. I think I got the braking point right. It's just I got on the gas too soon and ran wide. And that's what gave Tucker the room to just dive bomb. And that created the drag race with Larry.
So, Ron, I have a question for you. You're leading this space. Why don't we just focus on covering the inside of the last corner no matter what the fuck happens?
So that's what I was thinking, right? I was thinking brake a little early, right? And just make sure I hit the apex. But somewhere around here, I felt him, or the radar went off that he was on the inside. Go, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, but you don't let him on the inside.
No,
yeah, you approach on the inside.
Take the inside already on the straight.
Yeah. I should because everywhere else I was trying to be. Yeah, I should have been defensive. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so
this is
in the
the
middle of
last
the track,
lap.
I would have been okay.
This is the last lap. So your lap time doesn't matter at all.
Right.
Middle of the track would have been the right thing to do, right?
Yep.
Yeah, or even just fully on the left, or fully on the right, and just make him go the long way around if you really want to be a dick about it, right? On the last corner, just throw the anchor in the middle and just let them deal.
Because I had a bad exit out of Sterling, so he was gaining on me too, right?
Sure.
So he had to run on me.
Even if he did, you could just move to the middle and be off the gas and let him try to accelerate around that. Right?
Like even if he didn't have a good exit, just defend in that case, just in case he sends like the mother of all dive bombs into the final corner. Because the final corner on the final lap, people will do this.
That's what I was thinking. I thought I don't know him, but everyone's gonna try it on.
But see, specifically, if you know you had a poor exit and you can see he's closing, that's when you defend.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of defending.
Yeah.
And honestly, on the last corner, on the last lap, like with all due respect, man, this motherfucker can hit me, right? We are almost to the end. He can just run into the back of me, and I'll drive away. Like it's fine, right?
So that's where I was too. The same thing. Right? Just like I'm taking the line, and if he howls it in front of me, I'm going into him.
Yep.
Watch this. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was just.
Track too. Good job.
I don't know how that didn't result in some giant wreck.
Honestly, I don't either, but it didn't. Right?
Well, I didn't have a choice, right?
Right? No, you really didn't. You know?
You did?
Like I had to keep my foot in it and just go, right? I didn't have any choice at all on that.
Well, you had a perfect line until right about here.
Yeah.
You got a little wiggle just over the hump of the hill. And when he started coming back across it, you were like, piss on it, I'm taking the right side.
Yeah.
We two are done.
Well, that's my heart stopped right there.
Right. This is the commit or not decision point, right? Where they're going to go full in and go all the way, or we are not going at all, right? But you don't have a choice. So You did the right thing. You stayed in, and then just whatever happens afterwards happens.
You didn't try to split them, which that would have ended in a disaster.
I was gonna say that would have been a cooler move.
This would have been a disaster.
Pull it off.
If you were further back, that would have worked, but at that position, it wouldn't.
Larry got by too. That was.
I will say though, 5 out of 10 times you're in the wall, and you never make it. Right?
Oh,
So,
I
like,
knew that.
Super
But
cool.
If I touched the brake, then I would have spun into Ron.
Oh
That's all
god,
that
yeah,
happened.
you can't touch the brake. Like you do the same thing every fucking time. I'm just saying 5 out of the 10 times you do the same thing. Ron goes 2 feet over and puts you in the wall on accident, right? But I mean, hell, stay on it. Yeah, use all the grass and just yeah.
The whole fight between these 4, I think it went on for like 5 laps with the whole train. It was really fun to watch.
Oh, actually, yeah, it was a good 10 laps because the leaders were coming through and kept breaking us off, and then we'd all sort of bunch back together again.
Yeah.
It was a blast, right?
Yeah, and the last-
and the leaders will remember that coming through there, right? But what a hoot!
Yeah, I think I was caught you guys like with like 5 laps to go or something, and I just stayed out of it because I was like many laps down and just watched from behind. So I was in prime position to watch this happen right in front of me.
That's funny.
You should watch Larry's move too, because like there's a little drag race, right? And he eventually pinches out. You know.
Yeah, well, because you were after all of this, right, Larry?
Yeah, everyone blew by me. I was out of it.
Yeah, I was drag racing Smith to try and get past him, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, by
He
two
had me
ten,
like a
two
fender.
by 2,000ths of a second. 2,000ths of a second. It was a dead heat when I looked at the replay.
That's crazy.
That V10 just pulled just hard enough.
You just need to paint an extra layer of paint on your car for next time, Larry.
Yeah.
Make your paint, you'll be all right. Yeah.
1 layer of clear coat and I won.
Yeah, exactly, right? Just take that thing to make it once you're done, right? Geez.
But
Okay.
let me say this: for the amount of excess pressure that I applied to Ron, he held up extremely well.
Yeah.
And everybody else that was in the little gaggle that we had, it was very close. There were braking times where I was braking a little early, anticipating for Ron. Some of the guys behind me were just a little bit off, and then it came back and it worked out. But that was one of the best races I've had in a very long time. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was tremendous fun.
That was fun. That was fun as hell. I know there are definitely things I can improve just looking back. I know on lap 2 I spun out into the guy I hit. I'm sorry. I don't know who I hit. It was on... but...
Well, if the objective was to not be last, you did a great job.
I was like second from last on lap... in the middle of lap 2. And then I'm just doing everything I can. It's like, okay, I screwed up. It's time to just hunker down. Don't worry about your laps. Just worry about staying out of trouble. And then
more people did that.
I was proud too that I was dead last at the beginning of lap 1 because I was like 29th in Qualy, and then I got Gallo bumped me or something, and I went all the way to dead last.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, fortunately, you have 45 minutes, right? So it's enough time that other things will happen to other people, right? That's why I get really pissed off when people are really aggressive on the first few laps, because it's like you've given the race no time to play out. You've just ruined it in 30 seconds because you were impatient, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes just take time.
While watching, I kind of noticed that some people were pushing really hard from like lap 2 or something. Like, I can't remember. I think it was Sergio who went wide in a corner, had the left rear tire partly on the grass, and he was still flat out the whole time, just hoping it doesn't spin.
It works. It works. I practice it a lot in practice.
See, the problem with race is that it doesn't really help if it works like 90% of the time, because then the one time it doesn't work and you're in the wall.
No, yeah, I mean,
we die in practice, so we
the
don't die
beginning
in
of
the
this
race.
race, I was very nervous at the beginning of the race. I had to qualify with a lot of quick guys, and I didn't want to take anyone out, and I saw myself 4th, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh, this is not gonna be. And like 2 laps later, I was already making mistakes.
Well, you know, it's funny. I think that's the perfect time to be a professional asshole, right? When I qualify well, the first thing I think is I qualified better than all these motherfuckers. I can do 1 lap better than most of them, so I'm not worried about it. I only have 2 or 3 cars I have to worry about. And I just focus on those 3 because I've shown you I can do a lap better than you. I'm in front of y'all, so who cares, right? And I don't worry about it too much. I just focus on 3 cars. So in my head, it's a 3-car race, and that's all I focus on. And everything else is just kind of behind me. I don't really fucking care.
Yeah, I did wish that Carter had crossed the line because he was like 2 seconds away from giving us one more lap because I was having a lot of fight with
Dude,
Arjun.
I was so glad. I was so
fun.
glad he crossed the line where he did. I was just done.
Arjun and I were just playing
me
who
too.
makes
I
a
was like,
mistake.
please end this, please end this, please end this. Sergio was faster than me as well.
It was funny because I was watching the relative on that part for the last few laps, and in my mind, I was like, I wanted a few more laps because I was hoping they would kill each other.
Bad idea.
And in my mind, I was waiting to be 5th, way back
I was
here.
like, I can go like 124 right now. I just need to go for him.
No,
one more lap.
I
The thing
was
is-
so happy. Yeah.
The thing is, me and Sergio were pushing so hard that we both were making mistakes. Like,
Yes.
I got away from him, I made a mistake, and he caught up. He made a mistake and went back. He caught up again, and he made a mistake. That's literally how the race was going until the
It was
last
funny
lap.
because it's like I'm 11 seconds behind you, right? And I'm 8 seconds ahead of Steven. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, there's no sense to push now. I'm too far away to catch anybody, and I don't need to have Steven catching me. So I'm watching this 1.3 second gap for several laps in a row, and the whole time I'm like, kill each other, kill each other, kill each other, kill each other. Like every
Which is
time
probably what could have happened.
every time a yellow flag came up, I was hoping to see your 2 cars. I was hoping to see a Porsche and McLaren on the side of the road every fucking time, and I was like, damn it.
Based on how Arjun and I were driving those last 7 laps or 6 laps, it was. I was like literally just looking at everything. I was just, come on.
Well, I qualified 6th and finished 7th. So at some point in the race, I looked at the cars around me and said, this is pretty much where I am. So I don't need to go any faster and give time back. And I'm not going to catch you guys. So I hope you die. And so I'm watching you guys battle and just hoping you can kill each other because this is about as far forward as I'm going. So I'm like, all right.
I think in this track, if I was a better racecraft driver, I probably should have stayed with Bray.
In my opinion, you should have been more calm. Like, you were like pushing super hard and making really small mistakes, which adds up.
Yeah. Brands is not a track that rewards extreme aggression. There's very little places for you to recover or to run the car wide if you happen to. It's not like Paul Ricard where it's like a fucking parking lot, right? Like, there's walls everywhere. And so most of the time with your pace, dude, you could sit behind people and just through sheer anxiety, they'll kill each other.
Yep.
Right? Because you know you have pace in hand, so don't worry about it.
The issue is that I'm the one that crumbles first, usually.
Yeah.
So
honestly, when you and I race together, no joke. When you and I race together at the very beginning of the race, if I see you, I normally let you drive into the traffic in front of me because you're really, really aggressive. So there's a better chance you're going to ruin somebody else's day than ruin mine. And in the very beginning of the race, that's what happened, right? I saw you let you go, and then you were sideways in turn 4, and I just drove by again.
I was actually by myself there. That was just me losing focus.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be like me fighting someone. It's just I tend to made the mistake.
This is the point I was trying to make earlier. You push too hard. Nobody can drive 100% concentration the whole race.
Right.
Like, even the pros have to drive below their absolute limit in races. So you need to kind of pay attention to when you need to push. And find some kind of comfortable pace that you can drive. Like, you need to be able to drive an hour without making any mistakes. Yeah, it will be slower, but that's fine. You have enough base pace that if you go a little bit slower, it doesn't really matter, because nobody else is going to be able to do their max laps anyway.
Honestly, the first few laps at the beginning of the race, I'm driving like 75% of what I can do. Because there are cars in front of me. I can't go any faster. If I go full speed, I'll hit them.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of hanging around. I'm hanging around, letting them drive into each other, trying to go full speed, go max balls to the wall, because I don't need to do very much. And then they fall off, especially on a track like this, where there's not a lot of places to overtake in an easy place.
Yep.
Just let it take care of itself. Fine.
The only reason why I caught up with you guys in the first and after lap at lap 3 was because I was calm, because I knew no one's gonna try to overtake me from behind because everyone died behind me.
Right, exactly.
Because I was calm, I was able to like just put my foot down and catch up with you guys.
Honestly, in my mind, the race started at turn 4. And so when we were getting started, the only thing I thought is let's just get through turn 4 no matter what position we're in. And once we're on turn 4, the race actually starts because it's straight. And then it'll be all right. So someone got by me in the beginning, and I just let it happen. Because I was like, fuck it, what are you going to do? Drive into the parking lot right in front of us? Okay. It's fine.
But
can I ask you a quick question of everybody that's still here? Does anybody run the T-LCM pedals, and have you had any problems with disconnects?
No.
Here,
I run them. I have not dealt with any issues with them.
Not disconnects during the race, but sometimes when I start the computer, it doesn't get recognized for some reason.
Yeah,
and
I don't. Yeah, I don't usually turn them on.
Yeah, I have to unplug them for the night anyway because they have that stupid LED.
Yeah, the thing is, I have my sim racing. I have a USB hub with buttons the way I can turn on and off things on it, and I have my sim racing stuff, all of it plugged into that USB hub. So my steering wheel, my pedals, my my shifter, my pedal cam. What else do I have? That's all that's in there. Yeah, and then I have other things that aren't sim racing stuff that plugged in that I usually turn off during that time. So I start my PC up and then I turn my stuff on when I need it. Oh yeah, my controller uses a button box that's also plugged in there. So yeah, I don't have.
All right, Demetrius, what were you saying about yours? That you said it's never disconnected during a race, but something else now.
Sometimes when I start the PC up, when I turn on the PC, the pedals don't get recognized. It shows a device on Windows, but the pedals don't work, and I had to take it off the USB, plug it out, and plug it back in for it to work. But when it works, it's not frequently that this happens. It's, I don't know, happened 2 times, 2-3 times, and I have these pedals like not half a year, but some like 4 months or something like that.
Okay, because I was reading in Sim Hardware that somebody, Jonathan Corkle, I don't know if you guys know him or not, he's been having problems with his pedals just dropping out for no reason whatsoever.
He's my nerd. I like him.
I'm thinking that he just sends them back to Thrustmaster and gets them replaced, but...
Yeah. Probably he has. I haven't looked in that chat in a while. He probably has investigated if he has an AMD board and has the USB dropout issue, because that's not an uncommon thing that might happen. I've dealt with it once.
Can I go to bed now? Are we done?
I had one more issue that involves you, Davin.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah,
here,
the
let's
Lab
let
8 incident when you spun and a rejoin thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this was a bit weird, that whole incident, because the thing is, like, you were rejoining from the outside and you went to the middle, and I didn't know if you're gonna like carry on to the inside or are you just gonna stay where you are. And that's why I kind of sent it around sent it on the grass to get past you the straight.
That's fun. Let's take a look. I actually quit the replay because I was ready to go home. No one told me.
I'm gonna head out, guys. But thank you so
Okay.
much for all the feedback and all the good points. Definitely a lot of stuff to work on. Thank you.
Yeah, sweet.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm going.
Oh, sorry.
What time stamp is it, buddy?
Let me check. I actually sent Larry. It's 17:10.
All right, 17:10.
You might want to stream as well.
Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it in the order you don't want me to.
I'm gonna pad out as well. I just have to say I had a lot of fun. Thanks for a great race. I'm looking forward to the rookies he's in. And this race made me fall in love with Brands Hatch.
Oh, that's nice.
Great fucking track.
It wasn't a perfect race for me, but I'm excited to come back and do it again with more experience under my belt.
Let's see if we can find Arjun while we're looking at this thing. Well, that's awesome, man. Good to see you.
Can I ask you how you've gotten invalidated laps on this track, Devin?
Oh, dude, I've gotten a lot of them.
It's like I don't know even how you do that.
I get a lot of them. Don't worry about it.
It's like on most tracks it's understandable, but on this track you die when you do something like that.
Nah. It's an expert doing it. Oh yeah, no, because I'm sitting in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what's.
No, just sitting in the middle of the road.
The thing is, like, you were like going from the outside to the inside. I was like, are you gonna carry on to the inside, and give me the outside? And then
Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, I was like,
Well,
I don't know
no,
what
so-
I could have done, like, in the situation.
Well, so here's the thing. So when I come back on the racetrack, right, I still want to sit somewhere in the middle of the road because I need you to make a choice, right? If I sit too far to the right, you're just going to drive right down the inside, or sorry, on the outside. And I know you've got speed. If I sit too far to the right or to the left, you're just going to go right by me. So I sit in the middle, and then I make you choose. right? I saw you go off on the grass a little bit, so unlike Maurizio, I moved over and gave you a little bit of room because I saw you coming and I saw you in the grass. I was like, why do I need to fight this? I'm already dicked because I'm freaking going no miles an hour, so it doesn't need to, it doesn't need to hurt myself. But you're doing what? 176 and I'm doing 173, so you're going to go by.
Oh, I lifted off once I got.
Yeah, but I'm not going to make it easy for you. And then I kind of hang with you a little bit just because I can, and then I break a little early just because I can, and then sit there behind you because I'm like, it's alright. But yeah, I'm going to sit in the middle of the road.
I mean, you did everything right. It's Davin doing a bit weird things, placing the card.
It's not. No, it's not. It's literally stopping him and having him make a choice. I didn't do anything. I just sat there and said, decide which way you would like to go. Choose your own adventure. He chose right. And I was like, cool.
It was really sketchy though, just trying to get on the grass to overtake you. Like,
well, let me put
you could have gotten so wrong.
But yeah, but you also drove into something you could see from a mile away. So I don't care, right? That's the thing, is that I'm sitting on the racetrack, and I've been on the racetrack for a while, right? I'm off the road up here, way out here, right? So I'm off the road, cool.
Here
I'm back on the
runs.
racetrack now. Right?
Moves left.
So
the confusing part is that you move left to reach the center, and then you suddenly stop, and perhaps slightly move even right then again. And that can be slightly confusing for somebody coming up behind you. It's like, are you moving completely left? Are you staying right? Where are you going?
Sure, but make a decision of what you decided you want to do. Like, you could maybe decide to not drive by the car you're not sure what to do. You could decide to stay on the gas. I am not responsible for what you decide to do in your own vehicle. So, enjoy yourself. If you want to try to go, knock yourself the fuck out. But you don't have to. So, you chose to go. And I was like, alright. And then I stayed left. But I don't need to accommodate for you any more than getting back on the racetrack.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah. He's done his duties.
Yeah,
I
have no responsibility to you other than getting back on the racetrack and being somewhere in a constant place. If I was like squeezing you down against the wall or something else like that, yeah, totally, because I'm leaving everywhere. But after a while, I'm just chilling there.
Yeah.
Oh well. Sure, cool. But also, I also don't want to run you off the road, right? So the moment I saw you coming, I was like, I'll stay over here. It's fine. I'm not gonna outrun him. That's all right.
The thing is, I don't know if I'd be able to do this overtake again.
Oh yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it was still fine. Like, you were nice and fine on the inside. I stayed kind of with you, but I'm not going to try to send it around the outside of you. I'm not going fast enough to begin with.
Oh, I was
right?
shitting myself.
Dude, I was looking at you, and I was just like, whatever. I literally just stayed close to you to see if there was any pressure there. And the moment I saw that you were going to turn into the corner, I just lifted off and went in behind you. Because I mean, the only thing I was maybe hoping you might do is fuck it up going into 5 and drive off into the grass, like drive off in the gravel. Because you're really, really far on the inside, so you might not be paying attention. You might be looking at me. I don't know why you're doing that, because there's a road in front of you, but you could have, right? So that's why I stayed off in your pocket and said, well, if he runs off the road, he'll run off the road in front of me, and then I'll drive by. But you didn't. You turned. So I was like, okay, whatever. It's fine.
Well, considering I've done that twice this race, it's a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, but honestly, if anyone ever comes back on the racetrack and ends up in the road, I have to accommodate for them in some way. I either have to full send and drive by, or just decide not to do it and grumble about it. Yeah. But, other than that, it's just inconvenient. But oh well.
Yeah, I felt like this one is like, the speed difference is so much that it's kind of impractical, like, to just brake so much and instead of like going past them. But at the same time, going past them is also really risky. Like, it's all the thing is, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's more risky or what's better.
And that's the gamble that I took for you, right? I sat in the middle of the road because you have to roll the gamble, right? You have to roll the die. I'm not going to do anything. You're going to take the risk. You're either going to try to drive all the way around me, and okay, or you're going to stop, and then I won't have to do anything, and I'll just drive away. So, the worst case scenario, you're going to drive into the back of me, and I'm going to have this discussion of why did you drive into the back of a Lexus in the middle of the track? And you're going to be like, I don't know. Right, so I'm fine, right? If you hit me, I'm just gonna be like, why'd you drive around the corner and into the back of me when I'm sitting in the middle of the road? And you're gonna go, I don't know, and I'm gonna go, I don't know either. Right? So
oh well.
okay.
Oh well, right. I want to call it a night.
Yeah.
Another car did the exact same thing of like rejoining literally into the middle of the road, like giving me a choice of I don't know which direction to go. I think it was that 23 Mercedes, that green and purple Mercedes.
Well, and the other thing for me, the only reason that I did this is that I knew I had enough room around me where no other cars are around me. if I was in traffic, like really deep packed traffic, then I wouldn't have even tried it, because cars are actively driving by me. But where I fell off, there was enough of.
Yep, I'm not getting a good 19, so I'm just going to just get the fuck out of there. Because it's dragged on for a long time. I wanted to get some rest, but like, nope, not gonna happen. Right, okay, let me just briefly close this window. Grab this window back down, right? So yeah, good night, man. You've probably left like half an hour ago, whatever. This has dragged on way too long. Way too long. I need to end this now. Call it a night finally. So, yep. I'll just say, good night, bye bye.